Ash, we kind of missed you this past Monday. You and your mending cantrip.
I was told about the wheel incident.
Yeah, yeah.
Paul's inability to fix a wagon wheel.
Listen, we replaced it.
Uh-huh.
I can't help that I ran into the rock.
I mean, you can
Uh-huh.
help that. You can explicitly help that by not driving like a maniac.
I
See,
wasn't.
that happened
It's a
in
lie, and I know it.
that happened in one of my games, Trevor. That was because a bronze dragon crash landed on our fucking cart.
All right. Who wants to see the worst thing ever before we start?
Danny, that I was driving at a normal pace. I just rolled the nat one.
I spoke to your DM. I know you weren't driving at a normal pace.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways, who wants to see the worst thing ever before we start?
Is it this noise I'm thinking of?
It's the worst thing ever because of implications.
Oh, it's a Twitter thing.
What?
I'm not clicking on that because I don't want that to show up on stream.
That's fair. Someone
worry
feeding
about
a
it later.
Wooloo something. I don't know what it is, though.
We'll worry about it later.
It
don't
is
actually know
very
what's
suggestive. That's all that
Oh,
Travis
what's
said.
fully going on there, anyways?
It's a certain kind of face that TikTok girls like.
Oh, whatever.
Anyways. Searching a term. Oh. Yeah, I can see the issue going on there. I didn't realize what that was at first. I'm taking that down.
Yeah, probably for the best.
You
What's the
didn't
worst thing
realize
ever,
it was
though?
that face?
No, the actual term in that tweet.
Mm-hmm.
What that term was.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen that term before. Don't go mm-hmm.
I'm just vaguely aware of it.
It's your thing.
Alright, well, all the links have been sent out.
Okay.
Alright then. Mouse!
Yeah. Hi, I'm Andy, and I looked up a horrifying thing that I can't talk about on stream.
Okay then. I'm armored. I just got back from work. And I'm tired, but let's do this.
Hi, I'm Danny Boop. I am the streamer, and like moments before I started the stream, I got hand delivered a grilled chicken salad, so I'm probably gonna be muted for a bit.
First world problems.
I'm Feltrolls. I draw things I can't show on
I mean, some of the things you draw we could show on stream. Majority of them.
Most of them we can't show on Twitch. There are streaming services that do provide that, though. Anyways. I'm a mess. I'm tired.
It's fair. That's very fair. The fact that now that I'm using a desktop version of Discord rather than version of Discord rather than desktop version, I have to give it a second to recognize I'm talking. Sucks. Anyways. On the stream, should there be any watches or otherwise. I am Ash, the DM for this group of crazy individuals. Get right into this thing, shall we? Last time on the Scattered Realm.
The fuck? Do I need to strangle a Canadian?
Yes, let's get into this.
Alright then. Armored, get your sippy cup of maple syrup so we can do this without talking. Right. Last time on the Scattered Realm, Session 9, our band of intrepid individuals... I've been talking all day already. I'm very sorry. Our band of intrepid adventurers, Keta the Solicitous Bard, Dorvinche the Human Dancer, our favorite tiefling surrounded this hellish party, Morrigan the Hexblade Warlock, Failsy the Sorcerer, and Brimstone, who always has and will always spit hot lead. Meeting with a rather dashing man of raven black hair and bulging muscles, Quartermaster Gaston Pelion, to discuss what they'd found on the island so far. Luckily, he seemed to trust the party's judgment and their warnings to dispatch able-bodied men to both search out supplies and return to the castaways' encampment with all the gear from their stay on the island. Out in search of a thread they'd previously left unchecked in their time simply spent surviving. Barely visible near this peak, and there, with a less interrupted lunch, the hero's next leg of their journey. Yes, after the combat you all had with the strange mechanical wolves you'd previously fought, more or less left undisturbed. The woods around you has fallen silent.
I guess we should start climbing.
Well, yeah, we have the wall here, and we have the gear that we were given.
And a bunch
Those things, metal spikes things, I don't know what they're called.
Pizza
Metal
nuts.
cookies. I want one.
They're right there. He's just collecting everyone's boxes and like stacking them in his bag.
Okay.
What are you guys doing right now?
Probably
Just to get an
getting
idea of where
our
what is.
climbing gear out.
Well, who
Was it
wants
Andy?
to
It was
go
probably
first?
Andy.
That was Andy, yeah.
Let's give her a second to get back in. Alright.
So, who wants to go up the wall first?
You guys aren't at the wall right now.
Yeah, we have to get there first. We're not quite there yet.
Oh,
I thought we were.
No. I think we're still like at the edge of the woods.
You're still currently inside the wooded
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
so
Like you're still in the place where you stopped to.
Alright. Sorry. Fucking.
I know the feeling.
I had seen where the wall was, so I imagine she can just lead them over.
Everyone's seen where it is. You guys have been sort of skirting it this whole time. You've just been staying in the forest looking for a place along it that would be.
so
Scalable.
so let me just make sure that my recollection is correct. That we're like right here in the forest. That there's a section of wall here that looks climbable. And we could either take the time now to climb it, or go the extra long way around to go up to the hills to try to maneuver around the wall.
You're not you guys still are not wholly sure if this area up here will actually be easier to climb. Sudden drop off with a stone cliff face that the rest of this area is. Cool, because that's easier to point with. This entire time that this whole cliff face is slowly getting shorter and leading into this hills, but you're still not really sure how easy this is to climb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're about here right now, where the actual cliff face itself seems short enough that you don't feel an immense sense of potential death on the horizon.
Well, um, should we test if the rock is steady? We don't want to try to climb the rock and have it, crumble from underneath.
Seems like a good plan.
Well, let's make our way over to the wall then.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not a super far walk. You guys basically just went into the forest to find a place to sit down and have your meal.
Mm-hmm.
5-10 minute walk. You're back out towards the cliff face.
Okay. Can Da Vinci, per Keta's request, investigate the type of rock to see if it's a type of rock that would not kind of crumble upon something impacting it?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Can I help him with that?
Reason, I was just gonna say something. For a specific reason, you would have advantage on this.
Okay, investigation with advantage. That is a 20.
Alrighty then, a 20. You go up to this rock face, and 10 feet of it. This is about still a 40-foot rock wall. That gives you any idea how tall this cliff is. That this shortest part you're comfortable with climbing is a 40-foot wall. About the first 10 feet looks relatively well packed, like bedrock. Originally much higher land, and then this section of the land fell off more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And as why that is, as you look a little bit further up the cliff and see that it looks like porous igneous rock.
Hmm.
So you could see a lot of handholds, but you dread what would happen if one part of it's softer than the rest.
So, for the first... Yeah, so right up to around there. And he just kind of points. This is all solid. Up there, it would give us support, but there's no telling that we don't... if it'll be able to withstand the weight, especially in some spots. Rocks can easily be either hard or relatively soft. The last thing we need is a soft spot.
Well, I mean, wouldn't we be still testing our luck if we go up farther? We don't know if it's just a walk up or a climb up. What if it's even more porous rock?
I wasn't saying that climbing here was a bad idea, but if we want to climb here, we need to take precautions.
No, my concern is the fact that no matter where we go on this wall, even if it's here or there, there's going to be the strong possibility of something going wrong.
Keta, this spot here I'm not concerned about. We can try climbing here. Morgan, you're well versed in climbing. Am I correct on that?
More or less. If the pythons are put in correctly, ropes tied in the right knots, should be relatively safe.
Then how about this? Morgan will go first. I'll go second, make sure that all the spots that she secured are good and strong. Then the rest of you can come up.
Sounds reasonable.
Uh,
Hey, Brimstone, do you still have all those food bowls?
Why?
Just curious. I mean, we're not really on a time limit out here, except for how soon we're going to get hungry.
Yeah, I still have them.
have minor concerns.
Well,
Uh,
oh wait, right. You're not like us, you're before.
yeah.
That's what I'll do my best to make sure when I climb up. Make sure that Morgan got the good hard spots.
That's the problem with putting together any kind of climbing apparatus, so you can take all the precautions you want. And things can still get fucked up, but better to be cautious
The-
than willy-nilly.
And also, Lee, the rest of us can climb up first. And we might be able to support you if you end up slipping.
Is Andy giggling, not Keta?
He just sort of looks at this group of people with scrawny arms.
Especially the tiny one.
Um,
All right.
out of character question. How much weight would 2 strength be able to carry?
2 strength? What's the
Two?
size of the creature? Because that would technically only be 30 pounds if it was a medium creature.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Like,
You're like
1 or 2
10,
pounds at
15.
most.
Okay, so not a rope.
hmm,
I mean, a tiny creature would have its carry capacity reduced at least twice. So the most it could hold was 5 pounds, and even then, that's exaggerating. Please
A
speaking.
silk rope is 5 pounds.
I know, but I'm saying, I feel like I know what he wants to do, and at the same time,
no.
spider usually can't carry a rope.
If it was like a pixie or an imp,
I was just thinking
Uh,
like carries an end with his back legs and just goes up like a snake.
We'll have you make your spider and a strength check.
Yeah, probably has a neg 4.
First, describe what you do in order to make this happen.
Was the idea was floating in my head if there was like any vegetation up top, like a tree, because I can't tie a knot with a spider.
Hook it?
So I was thinking like if I could hook it onto a tree or wrap around a tree and climb back down?
You would see that there are no trees at the top of this cliff, but there does appear to be several large rocks.
So Fels's idea was like, maybe I could just have this spider carry it up there and loop it around and come back down, and we'd have two ends of a rope. Or even if we have to tie two ropes together.
You probably have to tie 2 ropes together.
We would have to tie 2 ropes, but could tie 1 rope into a hoop.
Or would that give us a better chance?
It would
If there was
probably
a
help you
guide
out.
rope. Yeah.
Then you can slot it onto a rock and give it an anchoring point.
Here's the ever so delightful question to the stream. What spider are you talking about?
Yeah.
I have an idea, guys.
Hmm.
Elsie says, taking out the rope. Can someone tie me a really good knot? I don't think I'm that good at rope tying. Unless, what is the check for rope tying a rope?
Likely it would be sleight of hand.
I was gonna try and slide a hand and not be an idiot. Hopefully.
Yeah, you tie a rope.
Felsie is great at tying ropes.
At least this rope you do relatively well at. You remember being on the ship and them teaching you how to tie a few basic knots as, like, prepping training.
So she makes a bit of a lasso.
Could someone help me tie this rope? Oh wait, never mind, I got it.
Okay, what are you planning?
Yeah, I was about to say, what are you on about with this?
Maybe I can carry this up there. Maybe. She says, putting like her hand with the rope onto the rock wall and reciting a spell in some dark eldritch tongue. Where are my spells? And then her hand falls off.
Ah!
What did you just
Yeah.
do?
So what are you okay if I describe this, Felzy?
Yeah, sure.
What you see is Felzy, she puts her hand on the wall while talking to you all, and then walks back, but her hand doesn't stay attached to her arm on the wall. And slowly, like clay, like crunches into itself and re-expands as it polymorphs into a large tarantula. Dinner plate-sized spider. Failsy now has a nub.
What the hell did you just do?
I don't want to know.
It's just a light bit of transmutation. It's fine.
By the way, did you actually cast that as a spell, or did you want to use that as a ritual? 'Cause I would have said, I would imply that you could have been.
Can I use that as a ritual?
Sorcerer's ritual. Wait, sorcerers can't ritual cast. Never mind. Sorry.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's wizards.
Sorry. There's a lot of spell casting classes. I forget which ones can and can't ritual cast sometimes in my brain.
Yeah.
I think it's wizards, clerics, bards, and
It's everybody but the half-casters, warlocks, and...
sorcerers.
Yeah.
Alleviable later. But anyways, that is what you see.
Give me a sec. My cat wants.
Just hiding behind Brimstone.
Lee's just sort of looking at what just happened with a look of utter confusion. Where did her hand go?
Turn into the spider.
Horrors of magic.
That's
That,
unusual.
that is some of the oddest magics I've ever seen. Are you going to be able to put that back on?
Oh yeah, quite easily. She waves with the other hand.
So you've done this before then?
Nope.
Well then how do you know you're going to be able to... you know what, never mind. Let's see if this works.
He's just gonna
See
kind of
if
like lean in, just like I think Magic Tree will just kind of understand.
I don't know.
But either magic doesn't make any sense to me.
I need
Except
to-
it doesn't make sense here either.
Where's my?
Oh, I forgot to ask. Pick the color of your destroyer.
Pick the color.
Purple.
Oh,
Green.
which color dice?
I already said purple. Fuck off.
I take 3 dice.
Okay. I said purple. Somebody else choose something.
Someone else choose something other than green because I don't know which one of these dice are
Pink.
green. I don't think I have.
Well, closest you
Orange?
have to pink then.
Would be the purple dice I already grabbed,
Oh, okay.
or the slightly light orangish red. Because I haven't heard another one yet.
Blue.
Ew. All right. Sparkly blue it is.
Anyway, let's see if this. Let's see if
Sorry.
my little spider can carry this rope. I think that's a strength check.
Yes. You say little, by the way. This spider is the size of a dinner plate.
I mean,
Still only 2 strength.
compared to what we've seen, that is little.
Yeah. It's also not made of metal. So go ahead and make a strength check for it. I think I have given you a character sheet for it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
The
that's a
DC for
6.
this was going to be 5, so it does manage to scuttle up the cliffside. It's the rope in its little spider teeth. Okay. I'm assuming you issued a command to it to
It's
do what you
telepath-
wanted to.
It's kind of remote controlled.
Yeah.
Though Fells has got like a hand over one of her eyes, so she can, while she's looking through it.
Unlike a familiar, you're not blind when this is happening.
It's just getting rid of the double vision.
Through my eyes with that double vision.
Okay, let's see what I can see up there.
You get up there in your spider-esque form. Around. Don't really see a whole lot other than desolate rock landscape. But at least up here, there's actually a bit of a landing that you could walk along. You
It's
find
only-
yourself a pretty big rock to be able to put this rope around.
Sort of scuttle over it and just try and drop the rock, the knee around the rock.
Right.
Does it
Not
look
too
like
hard
it's
to do.
coming? Does it look like it's coming out of the ground, or is it sitting on the ground? Like, is it a stalagmite or?
It's kind of hard to tell. Actually embedded into the ground, but it's also probably still just sitting on the ground. It doesn't look like it's necessarily growing out of the stone. This is probably like a 5-foot wide boulder. You've just tied this around.
That should do it. I've tied it around a big rock. Give it a tug.
Alright, well, I guess maybe I should do the tugging since I'm the one that's got a little bit of climbing experience around here.
Did you guys tie 2 ropes together before taking that up?
I was about to ask. Because I think we were so flabbergasted as what happened, we forgot to tie the second rope.
It's 50
If it was-
feet of rope.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
we
a
don't know- we don't-
40-foot cliff.
Yeah, and we don't know how far in the rope tie-off is.
Rope was also made shorter when the
Yeah.
tie was
So
done.
it's probably 45 feet.
Well, I'm assuming Provincia would have put it up there because it would have been a slow climb for the spider if everyone's just going to watch the rope slowly go up the rope, up the end of the rope just slowly going up the mountain.
Be fair. I'll permit this retroactive action.
Okay.
With that retroactive action, you're able to have the rope at arm's length.
Alright, well, shall I give it a tug then?
Yeah,
Go
I can't
right
see
ahead.
the spider would be climbing down the rope or down the mountain next to the rope.
Alright. What kind of roll, if any, would it be to check this?
Strength check to see if the rope moves when you try to pull it.
Okay. 13.
Give it a, at least for you, a pretty forceful tug, and it doesn't seem to move.
I mean,
Hold up pretty well.
do we want to have Lee test it because he's the one who weighs the most? He's
Yeah,
probably the one who's most likely to pull us down if we're trying to bring him up.
yeah, it'd probably be best to have Lee give it a test as well.
Okay. Okay. Grab the rope, and he's gonna give it a tug. He gives it a pretty forceful tug, and it doesn't seem to move.
Well, that's good.
Okay. Now, if we can secure that rope to the rock, then I don't think it'd be going anywhere.
Is it already secured to the rock?
It's tied at the top, but I think what they mean is they put pythons into the wall and loop the rope around it so it doesn't come off.
Yeah.
You would have been given a hammer, pythons, by the way.
Well, it'd be easy enough to put the pythons in as go up, so that would keep the rope secure, and then we'd just be able to climb.
Okay.
Who's going up first?
Morrigan knows how to work the pittons.
Fauzi's collecting her hand.
Hey, just grab it. Do you actually want to put it back on or just leave it?
She needs both hands for this, so yeah, she picks it up and puts this abdomen to her wrist, and it just reforms back into her hand.
Yeah, so everyone else just sees her pick up this spider like by the torso, stick it onto her stub, and it like turns back into clay and then reforms into her hand.
Ah, well, good to see that it actually did turn back, reattach itself, and turn back to normal.
Fucking wizards.
Well, it's a very useful spell.
I don't like it.
She gives you a little
Especially-
wave there, spider hand.
Especially worst part is when she first puts it back on, it reforms backwards and then slides around to the correct way.
It's unnerving, but at least it's reversible.
Let's
What happens
just
if the spider dies?
Don't hurt the
we
spider.
just-
You're not actually sure what happens if the spider dies, Failsy. You
Yeah,
know you
I
can
was saying,
stick it back on, but
Don't, yeah, you just said
like-
don't hurt it.
just not sure, and you figure it's probably best it doesn't get hurt.
Anyway, let's get this undertaking started. Okay,
I'll
so
try to catch you if you fall.
alrighty. Okay, so what do I roll for doing this? If there is a roll.
This would be an athletics check. The DC's not super high.
Okay, let's see how
Or
I
if
do.
you
With...
actually have proficiency with a climber's kit, you can roll that.
Just go with athletics.
Okay.
That's a 2.
I thought
Morrigan,
had-
you start to climb. Don't you actually have climber's kit?
Like that
Oh,
was
a
part
climb
of
kit.
that was part of my
Yeah.
Dungeoneer pack, but I never got
Okay.
told to add the proficiency for the climbing gear.
Because technically it's not a proficiency, it's just a
yeah,
tool.
It's not.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not a tool that you
Or it's
have
not even
to
a tool, it's adventuring gear.
Yeah, it's just an item, but whatever.
I was never
So-
told to have a proficiency for that, so that's
Because there's
why.
not one.
Brain gets messed up sometimes. Also, I've been awake for a long time. Let's not question that too much.
So even,
So-
but even if you were to apply proficiency, it's only a 4.
So, Monogon, you try to pull yourself up and then quickly realize that you're a bit heavier than you were expecting, or at least that's what you're going to explain to yourself, as you don't really have the upper body strength to lift yourself up.
I imagine she probably just ends up falling backwards on her butt.
Yeah. You can blame it on the silk rope being slippery.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't have very good grab.
Either that rope's too slippery, or I don't remember how to do this right.
I believe in you, Morgan. And Kenta will kind of gently pat her on the shoulder.
Maybe you're just heavier after eating a sword.
Could
Well-
be part of it.
I mean, yeah, it could be, although I'm still figuring out how all this works. I found the sword, and then I can do all this stuff, so meh.
As you guys are turned away to talk to each other, you just see Lee like overhand climbing.
Oh, see,
Oh no!
what I pictured was just Lee just gets a running start and just like jumps up and just starts at 10 feet and then just overhand. Just climbs it like motherfucking Donkey Kong.
He doesn't actually trust the rope
Oh fuck.
into Monogon, so he's actually just climbing the cliff
Yeah, fair
next
enough.
to the rope in case he needs it.
Fair enough.
Kenta just whispers, "That's hot."
Okay. I guess I'll try next.
Fauzi whispers back, shame he doesn't have the toga anymore.
Danny, don't forget you do have a D6 of inspiration now from Kenta.
Okay.
So Da Vinci will try going up next.
You're at least making progress. You are not quite caught up to Lee yet, but some progress at least. You're probably about 15 feet up the wall now.
Check it's all the way up before we
I
start
don't
climbing.
I
It actually
don't.
get a little bit easier as you get up to the igneous portion of the wall, because there's a lot of footholds. Put your weight on this rope, you're not as worried about it crumbling underneath you.
Okay. Crap! I forgot to bring the things. What do I care? I don't know how to use them.
I mean, you know how pins work. You hammer them into a wall and then you put a rope through them to make it stay, but put down and push
I know
off.
out of character. Da Vinci's never dealt with rock climbing before.
I assume he's at least seen pins because he's traveled with a caravan that's had adventurers.
No, there's no particular exact practical knowledge on how to use them specifically.
Seeing them is one thing. Knowing how they work is something else.
Well, to further finish the explanation I was trying to do before I got cut off, feeling that they wouldn't even work well with this, because you know they at least have to be put into a wall, and as you're stepping off this wall, it's crumbling under your feet. I feel like a pin would just be pulled right back out of it.
So kind of secure the bottom first, then.
You're making okay progress.
Mm.
Is everyone else gonna wait to see if he gets all the way to the top before trying to follow after him?
Yes.
Yeah, just so we don't mess up with the rope and everything like that.
Go ahead and make another athletics check armored with advantage this time because you have a strong foothold.
Oh no!
And here's where the dice fucks us and kills someone.
But you're so lucky. Did a private roll.
Only like 40 feet.
you're like climbing up the rope, and you feel it slip between your fingers, and you're like, oh no, not falling. And everyone else just sees the fact that Lee just stuck his arm out, and currently Dravince is sitting on his arm while Lee is sweating profusely.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
Good
Quickly.
catch!
Climb!
Yeah.
Alright, so you can try again.
Oh, no.
He's kind of just waiting now to catch people.
Jesus fuck.
Oh no!
You
Well, it's
can't
not
even.
that
You're still just trying to catch your breath from that momentary panic attack, and you don't even start climbing again yet. And you just feel Lee like pat you on the side, just, it's okay, Dravince.
Thank you.
No,
He
it's
I've done
inspires
this
you.
before.
Are you gonna?
Another one.
You've been given an inspiration die.
Okay. Inspiration.
You want to add it anyways? D6.
I'll save it for this portion of climb.
Right. So you start feeling inspired, though not taking advantage of it yet. You nod, start climbing again. You make it another 15 feet up. You're not too far from the top now. Check.
Uh.
What do you use that as version?
I knew this was gonna happen.
At least it saved you from a nat one.
Hide. Make a dexterity saving throw.
It's not even with advantage.
You slide back another 10 feet, but manage to catch yourself. You don't completely fall off the cliff face. DC for actually falling off the cliff face is 5, which technically you wouldn't do unless you nat 1.
Yeah.
So you lost some progress, but you're not dead.
Huh.
Hey, do you want my help?
No, don't risk yourself.
Right.
Trying to leverage the rope and the pitfall or the footholds as much as I can.
Okay, go ahead. All right, you remake up the progress you just lost. A little tired though. Don't roll until I tell you to.
Sorry.
That one, and you're lucky for that. Okay, but you start climbing again. Your arms are starting to get tired, so you don't have advantage anymore. These are just going to be straight rolls.
Okay. A straight roll.
So go ahead and roll again, because I'm being nice and voiding that one.
Lee, I might need a bit of a boost at this point.
Alright, I'm coming. If I don't accidentally knock my own dice. I'm not coming. As you hear,
No. Oh no.
everyone just sees the fact that this boulder that Lee's been holding on to just goes with him holding on to it.
Oh,
He's
That's
falling?
He ripped a chunk of the wall out.
do I have anything as a
Is
reaction?
he falling?
Yes, he is falling. He's not high off the ground though.
You might get a little scuffed.
How high is he? Same level as Dravince?
Oh, he hasn't been. He was staying near the bottom where the igneous started to catch people.
Yeah.
So that's
It's about
at most 10 feet.
he was about 15. Like when you first started climbing, he was just a little bit ahead of you, so he's also about the 15 feet mark. He just sort of falls backwards and just goes, "Uh-oh." And
Okay. It's just gonna
if
go
someone
over.
wants to stop it, he doesn't seem like he'll probably get particularly hurt. He's an orc.
Keta
I
can't.
don't got anything to help with that.
I have nothing I can do to help with him
Neither do
falling
I,
unless I try
sadly.
and get under him.
Armored has
See-
something, but would be better if it was higher heights.
You feel like he'll be fine, as he just sort of falls onto his back and just goes.
Yeah, Da Vinci can't do anything at this point right now.
I mean, he already hit the ground. Like literally, by the time you noticed, he had pretty much already hit the ground.
Okay. Going to
Right.
just try climbing then.
Only took 3 points of fall damage. He's fine.
How close is Da Vinci to me?
Lee, are you okay?
Wait for his roll.
Yeah, my butt.
30 feet.
Actually, a pretty. This is weird because Lee's also pretty tall and pretty stocky, so it's actually kind of hard to hurt him. Due being an orc.
Plus, he's just going to flex the pain.
Ooh, flex the pain. All right, so 13. Yeah, you make it up the rest of the way.
Just kind of flops up at the top.
Hey, your arms are burning.
So I can get this out of the way and I don't cry out of fear.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Just going to quickly survey. Is there anything up here that could potentially reinforce the rope /
The rope's not going
help
anywhere.
them? Okay.
The only thing that could have helped them is if someone had knotted the rope beforehand, but no one thought to do that.
Keta's gonna kind of psych herself up and then go to try to climb a rope.
Right. Lee is like standing underneath you.
Before Keta does, Fels has got another brainwave. Would Felsi know how to make a They used friction on ropes, like 3 bars and a housing that slots onto a rope, and you can slide them up and they don't fall down.
I know what you're talking about, but Failsy is not from a place where rope climbing would have really been a thing.
I just mean could Felsi prestidigitation, something like that.
That's a little too big and a little too complicated.
Yeah, he's
So
got a rope hitch.
Being able to make 2 of the prestidigitation is a bit stretching it.
Keta's gonna help up Lee first, make sure he's okay.
He's fine. He fell on his butt.
Then the other idea is which of Brimstone and Morrigan look the weakest, like less physically strong.
About the same.
Morrigan.
Brimstone's probably just slightly beefier. Slight.
Because Felsi's, it's not really going to help carry people, but Felsi's going to like give a swish of her tail and cast Bless on herself, Keta, and Morrigan.
That doesn't affect ability checks.
It's good
No,
for
but
saving throws.
But it does affect saving throws.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so in case Keta starts falling.
Yeah.
You get a D4 on
Okay.
any saving throws.
Alright, so
For the
Keta's
next
gonna try
10
to pull
minutes.
herself up.
Yeah. For the next
For the next
minute, you
minute.
have all saving throws.
So I'll say this will affect your first 2 checks.
Alright,
Unless you want to wait to use it until they're actually up the wall. Yeah, you can go ahead and roll.
alright.
First roll is just straight roll.
10!
Alright. You managed.
Just as I know, Da Vinci is going to position himself at the top in order to extend a hand out and pull people up when they get to the top.
Fair enough.
And
That'll
Keta
factor
has
into it.
some arm strength.
Alright, so Keta, you're like, alright, I could do this. You spit on your hands, realize that's gross, but still rub them together, grab this rope,
Okay.
The first 10 feet's pretty rough. That's about the point you get to before you have to stop for a second. But that's also where you get past the harder to climb part because this bedrock is actually smooth.
Hmm.
That's literally the part where it's just pure upper body strength to pull yourself up. And now you're to the igneous part.
It's hilarious to watch Get to do it with her very little arm strength.
It's actually fairly impressive seeing Ket to do it, considering she has a +1 in athletics, where that's actually a positive.
Yeah.
She's actually fairly good at it.
I roll again.
Is that an advantage now? Because
It would be an advantage now. Alright, you managed to get yourself up the next 15 feet of wall relatively easily. Past the chunks of rock that Lee pulled out with his hands.
And she's
Hey,
gonna keep
make good
on
handholds.
up. And
Right? And make another roll.
11!
You're starting to get tired, but you're about 5 feet from the top now.
Right. Can Davinci
Yep.
his hand?
Okay, just a bit more and I'll pull you up.
He'll be able to assist you, so I'll count that for the DC on this roll.
Right, so one more time.
Nah.
His advantage is an 18.
Yep, you were right. She actually kind of wouldn't have been tired at that point because she didn't fall at any point.
Yeah. She hadn't failed any rolls. She was just kind of
So-
slow going.
Keta makes it up rather smoothly. Dravincha, you help her up, but she actually kind of has it on her own. You
Okay.
still help her, though.
Yeah, just to make sure.
I look down and kind of wave like, I did it! I did it!
Yeah.
Well done.
You did it.
Right? The biggest
That's
challenge in all of
it.
D&D.
Wall climbing.
Climbing.
And Keta's gonna immediately walk off to the side and just like collapse and start crying because she's scared of heights.
While climbing, doors, old people. The biggest challenges in D&D. Right, who's next?
Falza will go and have a crack next.
Right.
Since she's the second weakest.
Be buff, Felzy. Try to be buff.
Okay. Just trying to think of anything that can give me an advantage.
Like I said, it's unfortunate that I have the highest one of the players with a +3.
You do have
Yeah.
a thing that can always give you advantage.
Nah, it's true.
Is it worth it
Can I
right
make-
now, though?
Can I make
If you make the roll first before deciding if you want to use it.
Can I make a pickaxe? That's like a small hand pick out of
Mm.
prestidigitation.
That doesn't fit in the palm
It's
of
a
your
little
hand.
still pushing it.
No.
So I think that's the size specification. Is fits in the palm of your hand for prestidigitation.
Yeah. Nothing.
I push it for like small like engravers hammers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wait, don't I have a pickaxe with the climber's kit?
There would be one, yes, but Morrigan has it, so you have to take it from her.
I thought we were all given a.
We're all
climber's kit.
given rope. You're all given materials to make like harnesses and stuff,
Only
but
one
none of
that's
you
had
have
a
used
proper
it.
Climbing kit.
Oh, Lee kind of went without Keta.
Oh well. Whatever.
Harness wasn't to attach you to Lee; it's so you guys can attach yourself to a rope.
Okay, whatever. We're already doing
Anyway.
this.
That's
I'm
what a
already up
climbing
here
harness
anyway.
is for.
Yeah. Too late at this point.
Baby bindle you. You're a strong,
That was
independent
it.
woman.
Hers is going to be smart.
Right, so luckily the harness you have start to fall, it will stop you from falling by doing the thing you were thinking about earlier.
Felix is not an idiot.
You've got that equipped now. Go ahead and
Okay.
make your first athletics check.
Climbing. Good climbing.
Yep, Failsy just... She just summoned. She just starts scuttling up that wall. It's
slippery
terrifying in its own
It's
right.
slippery like a snake. Good thing she's used to grabbing at snakes.
So you managed to climb yourself up to about the 15-foot mark.
So I have that advantage.
More climbing. I don't think there's any more ways I can tip the scales here.
At least you've set up the thing that keeps you from falling to your death. Base 10 DC, you climb up another 10 feet. The 25-foot mark now.
Okay.
So one more.
Yep. Oh no.
You start to lose your grip, but luckily because you put the harness on, it stops you from falling.
Yep.
You okay there?
I'm fine. Brimstone, stop looking at my dress.
Wait, what?
That is the last thing I want to do relating to you right now.
Really not much of a dress to look up.
That too.
See that Lee is actually just standing at the bottom of the rope, like with his arms open, ready to catch someone if they fall.
Yeah, that's probably smarter.
Alright, let's skedaddle up this
I did not mean to roll history yet. I was just trying to...
Skidder asked, what are you thinking about, Andy?
No, it was just I was like moving my thing and then it clicked.
Oh no.
Not really sure how to get out of the situation, and the fact that you're now like standing at like a 45-degree angle with your head pointing downwards off the cliff.
Didn't she have an advantage on that, or because she fell, she doesn't anymore?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you actually managed to right yourself and get up the rest of the way. It's just funny to me to imagine she's just standing on the side of the cliff, just being like, well.
Yeah, just, oh wait. Just flips up and starts climbing again.
I did it!
Great.
Okay.
Now one of you three.
I'm ready to catch people.
Alright, well, should I go first, Brimstone, or do you want to go first?
You should probably go first.
Alright. And she is going to use the harness as well.
Right. Go ahead and roll.
Don't stare at her butt, Brimstone.
That's a 12.
Yeah, you're able to get your way up the first 10 feet. Now you're at the advantage point.
Alright, looks like I just need to take a second go at this, so...
Forget you do have inspiration from Keta.
I won't forget. Okay, so second is at advantage.
I won't comment on the fact that technically inspiration would be gone by now because there's been time passing.
Fair enough. Anyway,
Still have it.
okay. 17 for the at advantage.
Alright, so you managed to get yourself up another 15 feet.
Okay.
15 feet from the top right now.
Alright, so... is this next roll at advantage still? Sorry to keep asking.
It's fine.
But is it still at advantage, or...
I did say yes.
Okay.
Oh,
You cut out.
We didn't hear anything.
Because my microphone is set up differently than it normally is.
Fair enough.
Well,
Breathe.
alright then.
Nat 20.
I'm done with this. Climb, 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 climb.
I just get the feeling that she just sort of goes 45 degrees out and walks.
Oh, it's still logical.
Yeah.
She does not have that level of upper body strength at nat 20 or not.
Yeah.
I think I can just sum it up to basically more or less she remembers all her old climbing tricks that she's been taught and just scampers the rest of the way back up, no problem.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
Stone.
Uh, oh, yeah. Okay.
Just staring at you, like
I thought
holding
he
the
was
rope ready for you.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say something.
He's just saying climb.
Yeah. Alright.
I don't think anything Lee can do can inspire Brimstone, so. Right. Brimstone, true to form for being at least in the relatively in shape man that he is. Like, properly, like, almost fireman climbing this rope.
Mm-hmm.
Actually get up to the 20-foot mark on his first burst. Advantage.
18.
Only 5 feet from the top with your second roll. Yeah, and Brimstone's just like, I'll show these kids how it's done. I'm not out of shape. Hop, 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 hop. Takes you back to your military days.
Yeah. Brimstone was not one to slack on his training drills.
That's kind of cool.
You all are kind of expecting, because a lot of you think Brimstone's an older dude, kind of maybe a little bit out of shape, but he
Okay.
never
I'm picturing
slows
him-
at any point.
I'm
Well, you
picturing
made
not
that look
touching the wall,
easy.
just holding on the rope and just using the rope only by his hands and just straining.
Okay, you did great. Lee, your turn.
Yeah, and you look like shit.
Okay.
Shut up.
This will be interesting.
Do it!
None of you see Lee for a second.
It's like, oh no.
Then you
Oh,
hear,
no.
there's a tree rustling in the distance. You just
What?
hear, ah! As Lee goes flying overhead.
What the hell?
What did that young man decide to do? Oh my goodness.
You heard like a wood creaking sound, a sudden rustle of the leaves as there was like a whiplash sound.
He slingshot himself.
Kessa
Oh.
was standing up, so does she see him coming towards the cliff?
Yeah. You all see this blur of green just like face first flying towards the cliff
Oh
with a look of, why did I do this?
Oh god.
What? What I have to roll to see if I can tell if he's gonna make it or not.
Well, he went over you guys.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Just
Oh,
that's not gonna end up well.
You hear a in the distance.
Oh.
Well,
Get up
How
and
much-
start running.
how much of a plateau are we standing on? Or did he just
well,
go
you guys
over the
are-
mountain off the other side?
Oh, he didn't go that high up. You guys are actually on what almost appears to be a walkway. This cliff that seems to have been purposely smoothed down crisscrosses back and forth up the cliff. So basically, you guys are on the very bottom rung of this crisscrossing pathway. Catapulted himself to the second rung.
Kessa's gonna message him,
if you're supposed to.
and if he's within the allotted,
120 feet? Yeah, he is.
are you still alive up there?
Yeah,
Says
not
Kessa.
one of my tusk out.
She's rubbing her forehead
Yeah,
before
it'll go
messaging him
back. For the AutoK perspective, that was the result of a natural 20 on a strength check and a natural 1 on an intelligence check.
Oh no! Oh! Poor Lee.
News, everyone. He's still alive. He knocked out his.
Which, by the way, for Lee, a natural 20 is a 0.
Or a natural 1.
Natural 1 is a 0.
Natural 20 is a negative 19. Negative 20 modifier.
Yes,
Can we-
he's basically the barely sentient blob of green goo.
Can we see how to get up to the second rung?
It's just a pathway. You guys would just have to follow it up, and then eventually it like curves around. Think like the walk up to the throat of the throat of the mountain in Skyrim.
Yeah.
It keeps going back and forth on itself.
It's just a very long winding path.
I've never played Skyrim.
It's a long
It's like a
winding path.
zigzagging line.
All right. So, I imagine we're now going to find our orc.
We have to go for a walk first.
Yeah.
Tell Lee to just sit down and have a rest and catch up.
I want to go check on him.
Let's go check up on him. We can at
Yeah,
least
I mean,
leave the.
I need to roll damage you took. I didn't take very much.
We at
I just
least
mean-
we can leave the rope here for when we get back. Or should we take it with us?
Oh, we still have a lot of rope on us.
It's only looped here, so it's not really fastened. Probably take with. That's 100
Take.
feet of rope.
Okay, does
Yeah.
You still have a lot of rope.
we
It's
still
a
have at least
lot of
150
rope.
some rope. You know, Keta will make her way up the pathway to go find Lee.
Alrighty then.
Was this
As
a-
you're, oops, sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, would it be like maybe a 10-minute walk to get up there, or are we looking at a long
You're
time?
not
to
really
get
sure.
to the next area.
We'll find
You
out.
don't see where the pathway starts to curve.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to Keta to tell Lee to sit tight. It might take us a while to get up to the second rung.
In perspective, Lee wasn't like just like skirting the top of your heads when he flew over you. He was a good at least 20, 30 feet in the air above you.
Damn, boy went flying.
That's what happens when you catapult yourself off a tree.
Keta has
Fair
some words
enough.
for him.
Guess we start.
Surprisingly,
clicking
he did not take that much damage.
Really.
Rolled the d6 for his amount of fall damage, and they more or less almost all rolled ones.
then. That's orcs for you.
They have a bad habit of surviving things they shouldn't. Well, good habit in this case. I'm assuming you do send the message to
know,
tell
yeah.
Lee to stay put.
And Keta tells him to stay put and don't move. Don't move.
Just gonna, if we're leaving the rope there, then I'm gonna mark it off my sheet.
Okay. So you all start heading your way up the pathway that you're on. It is a bit weird. You're not really sure what would have done this to stone to make it form this way. Curved pathway? Like you would expect someone to do with a tool of some sort. Set with stone, like how you'd expect someone building a road to do. But it just appears to have been smoothed over by something. You can see there's almost a clearly defined edge between where this porous rock is and where this almost glass-like texture you're walking on. That smooth.
Is it like marble smooth, or
It's like walking on glass.
so there's not a lot of dirt?
It's like a couple of pebbles and stuff, but not a whole lot in the way of dirt up here now.
Interesting.
You would have actually noticed that when you were climbing up here with the spider, but didn't really take note of it because you were more focused on your task. Asserting Eye of Da Vinci would be able to note that you are walking on an obsidian pathway.
What could make all this obsidian?
Volcano.
Well, that's obvious. But doesn't... Well, the spire was obsidian as well.
Could just be moved to obsidian rock, and then since the volcano is close enough to here, it could have been just the rock, the town.
No, there's something else. The obsidian doesn't come out that naturally finished.
Somebody's cut a root out of it.
Precisely.
Whoever did it is probably the dude who made the spiders and the wolves.
And also, obsidian doesn't like to be in large pieces, usually being more brittle, or something like this. That did not...
Yeah, that is probably the most abnormal thing about this pathway to you, is that it isn't like laid plates of obsidian, it's like fused into the ground, and it's just this large, long, continuous sheet that isn't even cracked. It does chip with it does chip when, like, say, your metal boots some of you have on, like greaves and such. Whenever they collide with it, it does sort of chip. It's not indestructible. It just seems like has not been purposely worked by tools.
For this much obsidian to be made like this, they had to gotten a large amount of it in a solid piece, and somehow made it to be this way.
Be a lot of druids.
Druids is maybe shifting the stone, but I don't know if you can do it quite that like that with obsidian.
But it's still stone.
Only technically.
Stone is still stone, grain is still grain. You know, you can't really change what something is.
Hey, Da Vinci, how much is all
Yes.
this worth? How much would, a pound of this be?
All of this obsidian in this
Well,
quality?
If I was to break a bit of it off, maybe a pound, how much would that be?
So, DM, do you want me to answer what I think it'd be worth given my knowledge of gem pricing, or do you want me to roll for Da Vinci?
Vinci would know, but at the same time, worked as a gemstone by having a large piece of it and individually taking what you need. Thing you get off of this is like a chip of obsidian, and getting a bunch of little chips of obsidian, well, it could be used for something. You'd have a bit of a hard time finding a buyer to buy just a bunch of tiny chips. Really have no concept of the value of what that would be worth.
That was more hypothetical. If I was to just make a cube obsidian.
Yeah. that's more what I was thinking. Like a just solid chunk of obsidian, like a huge rock of obsidian.
Salt the 5e tools prices.
Which I believe obsidian is a common gem, so that'd be the 25 gold.
And GP.
Uh,
Basic black obsidian, which is what this is 10
Yeah,
gold
10.
piece per piece. But that's still for like a fairly big piece of obsidian. Mate that a 1 pound cube of obsidian might at most be worth 100 gold.
well, let's see. A piece of obsidian that's large enough for its jewelry setting would be about maybe 10. To get a huge chunk would be 100, 150, depending on how much you get.
Hmm.
We've got more money in the bloodstones than we do trying to extract this obsidian.
I was just thinking, I don't know, somehow murder the kingfisher. We just mine this mountain.
First, I'd rather just make sure our friend is okay before we plot
I-
the murder of the Leviathan.
I would think we'd get much more money for killing the Leviathan than we do with all of this obsidian.
You're probably right. Also, I'd like to tame the Leviathan
No.
instead.
Are we close to Lee yet?
This is just as they're walking.
Keto's like purposely walking faster away from Valesy.
You take a 15-minute walk before you find the turn in the pathway.
She'll kind of ping him with message and go,
Is not close enough.
he's not close enough within 120 feet.
You guys just found the turn in the pathway. You've got another 15 minutes at least before you find him. It's definitely a lot more than 120 feet.
Okay.
So is that just what you guys want to skip ahead to?
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything more to gas bag about for now.
Fair enough. All right, so you guys eventually do get far enough ahead, and you find Lee again. Sitting on the pathway. There's like all he's next to, which is like almost perfectly his face shaped. Effect. And he's just like sitting in like the thinker pose, looking at his tooth that's no longer in his mouth.
Lee, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do that?
Sometimes that's just what you do.
It would have been really hurt.
It's weird to be able to close my mouth.
How fucked up does his mouth look on the one side?
Actually looks fine. He's got like a slightly busted lip, but otherwise the only thing that seems to have happened is it completely knocked his tooth out. Literally protrude outward from his mouth. I don't know what kind of damage has been done to his jawline, but
I mean, you
he
still look
doesn't
very
seem to be
cute.
in mass amounts of pain.
He has pockets now, doesn't he?
He's got pockets.
Fez is just gonna fish out his healing potion that she's been carrying and hand it to him if he wants to use it.
I'm fine.
What's he gonna do with the tooth?
That's weird to be able to do. He sort of puts it in his pocket.
big was it?
This tooth is about 2 inches long. Like, these tusks are huge for an orc.
Not dagger sized.
Not quite dagger sized. And there's
Suppose you
still
put
some
up-
of the root of it missing, so it's probably like his tusk in whole is probably about 3 inches long. They're pretty big. Oh, all right then. Oh, you guys have caught up.
Do you need healing?
Did you just like get super close to him?
She's more so giving him the dead-eyed stare, like you better not lie to me.
Oh, for right now, I'm fine. He looks really confused at how his voice sounds right now.
Just sounds so eloquent now.
Are you sure you're fine?
Just
Yeah. It's weird to be able to close my mouth while talking.
Now he sounds British.
It's the accent he always has. Just can never hear it because I have to keep my mouth open so I can't use my lips properly while talking as him.
You sound a lot different now.
He's still just Lee.
Change once I grow my tusk back.
Yes, but for now, I think you're already pulling her heartstrings.
Anyway, walking forward.
Somebody would said I'd be doing that already. Just chuckles.
Covering her face, like, oh my
Yeah, and you
God,
guys just
no,
continue along the
everything's
pathway.
now.
Do you guys mind a bit of a skip forward?
Certainly.
With
Oops,
you having
sorry.
said that, would now be probably a good time to go take a quick pee break.
We've technically really only been playing for an hour and a half. Yeah, I guess so.
Well, with 3-hour session, it makes sense to take a break in the middle so everybody can go pee.
We're not
Alright.
quite at the hour and a half mark, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a break.
Well, because I need to use the
Go
washroom.
pee. We'll be back in 5 to 10. I'm gonna drink some strawberry lemonade in the meantime. Some other people are gonna go make some lemonade. Not strawberry lemonade. That would be a problem.
That would be very much a problem.
My cat is weird.
What's it doing? Tell me this thing.
It likes to sleep on bags, like backpacks.
That's normal cat behavior.
It comes into my room, and because I've left it on my bed, the entire bed, it won't sleep on, but it will sleep on my bag on the bed.
I guess that's fair. It just wants to sleep in a weird place because it's a cat. Cats do enjoy sleeping in weird places.
Took a picture of my cat.
showed us?
It's in for the pick memes.
Oh, memes for the pick god. You've got a chunker.
He's
That's
kind
how
of
good
sleek.
he-
He's just when he lays down, he gets all
You've got a squishy boy then.
yeah. His brother's even fatter. But I don't know if it's just fur. He's fat.
Issue with cats is in fact that they are fat. Fur just makes it more apparent.
Speaking of a fat cat,
I don't know
Taunts
if
the
that's
stream with cats it cannot see.
we're just posting cat pictures to each other. Don't you worry.
No,
I-
I don't think it's that they're concerned. I think it's that they want to see the cats.
I know.
I kind of like Tally's vacant expression. It's like I am here.
can't tell if cat is fat or it's just the same effects that Oreo has, and he gets fat when he lies down.
Hello. I'm back.
Oh, Tally is definitely fat.
Hello?
Hello.
Alright, you can hear me.
Hello.
I'd say that during their travels, Keta's telling the story of how she lost her first, like, canine tooth. Of just Brimstone kind of tying a string around it and closing the door and yanking it out.
That's the way it's done sometimes.
Yeah, it was a lot bigger than they all expected. Because, you know, she has a tiny mouth.
His pet has always been a baby.
And that's actually where everyone would hear Keta call herself Pitling for the first time. As in reference to Brimstone calling her that.
Alright, doing?
I
Fauzi
return.
recounts her losing a tooth when she was a child, biting another orphan, and losing her tooth in the orphan.
Oof.
That's how you do it sometimes.
Alright. You guys still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. A little bit of trouble with my microphone.
I pictured Da Vinci would have lost his first tooth in the form of wrestling with his brothers, and one of them gives him a right hook.
I lost my first tooth when I bit a coconut.
It's a coconut.
I don't know what a coconut is.
Often mistaken for crabs.
I hate crabs.
I don't know if D&D has coconut crabs.
I mean, you fought a giant version of one.
Yeah.
Duke,
I believe.
are you saying coconuts migrate?
No, I'm saying large dinners migrate.
Okay, Myth is back. Yay.
I've always been here. Personally.
Here, I've just been quiet and listening to the heathens conversate.
I'm on a heathen again.
Finding more reasons to distrust Fauzi.
Yes.
A lot of reasons to distrust Failsy.
Yeah. Like I typed, Brimstone's distrust of magic is in general grows. Its distrust of Failsy grows exponentially.
Well, sometimes you just have to grow up.
Also, when she, like when she was saying that, he just muttered "fucking wizards" because he doesn't understand the concept of a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So-
Magic bloods are weird.
So,
Yeah.
does this
all
mean-
magic is the same?
does this mean that Da Vinci is the only one person in the party that Brimstone trusts?
No.
I mean, I hope he trusts Kata.
No.
I mean, in terms of because he's in terms of not trusting magic users.
As far as Brimstone is aware, that
Yeah, you're the only one who
absolutely
doesn't
no
do it
magic.
intentionally. Yeah. Like
Well,
Brimstone
he's not-
has, Brimstone has magic. He just didn't choose to.
I mean, Lee doesn't seem to have magic.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Brimstone must trust Morgan at least a little bit.
Yeah,
You're in bed.
the main person he really doesn't trust is Failsy because she keeps doing weird shit.
She just has different interest.
Still weird shit. You've seen magic users have spider familiars. They don't come out of their fucking hand. Yeah, they aren't. It's not their fucking hand.
Well,
I'm
you
sure
just
there's
don't know
been at
that.
I'm sure there's been at least a few magic users in his 20 years in the military that he's seen.
You just don't know that much about magic, boy.
No, he fucking doesn't because he doesn't trust it.
Are we all back?
It's now.
Failsy?
I'm back.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here, and
Yes, I think we are.
Alrighty then. And let us continue with the berry making, as you all up this strange, seemingly laid out path for you. To make the tone ominous. I'd actually like some perception checks from everyone.
Kata's towards the head of this, and she has a good perception and passive perception.
No, that's on that one. I ain't seen shit.
And an 11.
From Stone, all you see is the back of Lee.
Yeah, that's alright.
18 for Kata.
Failsy is not seeing shit.
15.
The highest roll amongst the party was a 15.
What did Lee get?
I didn't even roll for him. He's not really paying attention. He's still like fiddling with his tooth.
Yeah.
I.e., the NPCs don't usually roll.
Okay. Anyway.
He's just sort of like looking at his tooth and like trying to put it back in his mouth, but it won't stay.
Oh, shit.
Monogon, you're looking around. Weird sense about you right now.
Picture person she's watching of you giving the sun.
Not really sure why, but you almost feel like you're being watched right now.
Feels weird around here.
I mean, we are possibly going into the area where all these robotic creatures are coming from, and there could be a mad person there creating them and wanting to kill us. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that could have something to do with why it feels weird. Who knows? We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Maybe they could just be really, really nice and very lonely.
Are you having fun there, Lee?
It's not Lee making that sound.
No.
He like looks back at you confused.
Thought that was...
Feel a weight on your shoulder, Monogon.
What the...
Looks at Morrigan.
Yeah.
She'll look at her shoulder.
Birds just landed on your shoulder.
Birds? Multiple?
A bird, single.
Oh, okay.
Oddly enough, a white raven.
Huh.
Oh, hello there.
Does it also look robotic?
Oh, just looks like a bird.
I'm used to seeing your cousins of a darker color.
It's fairly large. Per raven standards, this is a fairly large bird.
And ravens are pretty big to begin with.
That's why you actually felt it like your shoulder dropped down when it landed on you.
Yeah. And I would imagine she's used to seeing like normal colored ravens.
You've never seen a white raven before.
It's very pretty.
Rare, too. I've only ever seen ones with black feathers.
Ita will offer up a little bit of beef jerky from her pouch.
Oh!
Hmm.
I couldn't tell if that was just a sound or if it said something.
Said no.
I'm sorry?
Well, I think it doesn't want any of that there, Keta.
I'm sorry.
That bird just fucking talked.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's what I heard.
Would Morrigan know that ravens can sometimes...
Ravens can talk.
Yeah, she's
They
just...
can learn how to replicate speech. It's just very creepy sounding.
Yeah, she's just like...
Grimstone wouldn't.
She just looks at me and says, "This is normal. They're very smart birds. They're able... It doesn't sound too pleasant, but they do know how... They are able to learn how to say words."
You would know that a trained raven can usually learn how to understand from 5 to 10 vocal commands and repeat them itself.
And she would explain as such to the party.
But wouldn't that mean that someone taught that people have been here enough that it learned how to say no?
That is a good point.
On.
Okay, you were cutting in and out on that.
Wonton.
Anton?
Cutting out too much for you guys to understand what you're saying.
I think he just repeated you, Keta, or whoever said someone taught.
Well, no, I think he said his name is Wonton.
Oh, he said someone taught.
Someone taught.
Yeah, I think he just repeated someone.
He was repeating Dravinci.
Yeah, that's it.
Or it's a very, very fast learner.
Taught.
It just sort of looks at you and just goes, "Learner."
Do you have a home?
Nod its beak up and down.
Do you show us?
Just looks up the cliffside.
Um,
Are you pointing
Is
to that
there-
house up there?
It turns its head over to you, and because it's on your shoulder, this is almost deafening, and it just goes,
It said yes.
said some house. Something about that voice that really does not pick up very well.
Somehow. So, you want us to follow you?
Follow! No.
Well, that's a no.
So don't
Some
follow.
house. Go.
Oh, I think he wants us to go to the house.
can you lead us to the house?
Looks up the cliffside.
I think there's no other path.
Other path.
How tall is the cliffside?
You guys are walking up the pathway.
Yeah, the path is winding up the mountain.
Okay.
Rough estimate that this pathway, though it's zigzagging back and forth, is just making its way up the mountain.
You made
Okay.
us up there.
Stay with you.
Stay with us.
Well, I guess that means it's just gonna hang out with us while we just walk up.
Guess we have a new friend.
Yes. Friend.
It just sort of like bounces on Morgan's shoulder and then jumps off her shoulder and proceeds to just start waddling next to you guys on the ground.
Oh my!
Wasn't that adorable?
We'll gently pat its head once.
All touch.
Okay.
This might
Told
be an
you.
important thing for you guys to know. Some of you might be able to try to make the nature check to see that a white raven, obviously, probably the result of albinism. Be able to tell that though, because you don't see eyes on this bird.
So, are you saying do nature checks?
Well, I'm assuming at least some of you have a concept of albinism. Felsley would at least because she's relatively well studied.
I mean, Kenta might with the fact that she is a very weird genetic mutation.
Also, you've
can't
probably
see
had a
the-
lot of rabbits in the past, so you've probably seen an albino rabbit.
Yeah, it has pet rabbits. So.
Da
If
Vinci
we
just
can't
has its
s-
kind of flags raised from this bird in general.
You
That's
can't see
very
his
off-putting.
eyes. What is covering them?
Yeah, it's like closed.
Ah.
Hasn't
Could I
opened
roll
its
the
eyes
nature
at any
check?
point.
Are you
Honestly,
blind?
would say you would know this anyways, but
Okay.
Just kind of reaffirming it.
okay. Roll your nature check then.
Should I roll then?
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll, but yeah, albino creatures exist. It's not that uncommon.
Yeah, okay.
Like, or as far as you're aware, like a 1 in 1,000 chance, but they happen.
Kind of realizing
Kind of-
Kenta would.
Player knowledge. I don't know what causes albinos. Is that like being in the dark a lot, or is that just something?
It's like a genetic thing. It's
Yeah,
something that just
it's-
happens.
Yeah, it's genetic mutation.
Thing that happens from being in the dark is not albinism. It's just being really pale because you no longer need skin pigmentation.
Yeah, they're different things. That is essentially evolution. Albinism is a mutation.
Mutation.
Guys.
Hmm.
Our new
What?
friend. Little Raven.
Can I investigate the bird instead? Since I know since I know it's albino, can I just do a general investigation of how it
Sure.
looks?
What are you doing to investigate the bird? As you all are continuing along, I'm gonna say.
Without touching it.
I don't think it's walking very fast, so
Oh, it's keeping pace with you guys.
well, Fuzzy's just gonna get down close and inspect, see how like
Well, it makes me curious.
looking for mechanical bits. If it's
Right.
mechanical or if it's really a bird.
Brimstone's just saying, fuck that.
Just Brimstone's response to everything.
It's a creepy bird that can talk.
I'd say double nat 5. So yeah,
Oh, that's nat ones.
it's def.
Fuzzy's tripped and fallen on her face.
Oh, it's just like you look at it, and just like it's gotta be a robot. Seen on this island that wasn't like a game animal. It's been a robot. It's gotta be a robot. That it hasn't
Guys,
attacked you, but it's gotta be a robot.
wonder how it found us. Obviously, probably hurts its eyes.
Does maybe someone slamming into a cliffside count as hearing?
Maybe.
Found you.
You found us, yes.
Just nods.
Do you find him first? And she's gonna point to Lee and like do a little thump on his chest.
See, even though its eyes are closed, when you point at Lee, it follows your finger to look at Lee.
It's a psychic robot.
Oh, He's probably evolved to deal with the sunshine.
Or it's fucking magic.
Eat with you.
Yes, you stay with us.
Eat with you.
With us?
I think
It's
it's
saying
saying
he was with you when he's basically saying he was with you when I found you.
Yeah, he with you.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
understand.
the first
broken
word kept
speech.
cutting out. We weren't hearing the first part of it, just E.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to talk because this microphone isn't gonna properly pick me up at first.
Mm.
Alright. Did your owner give you a name?
It like moves its head back and like side to side.
It's gonna lean down a little close to it and go, if you're really a person once, you can tell me. I won't tell anyone else.
It still just leans its head from side to side, not understanding your question.
Were you like me once?
Sort of shakes its beak back and forth. Side to side, rather.
Right, so the bird was not once a human.
Of course not. It's a robot.
it's probably always been a bird.
A very smart and very pretty bird.
Oh yeah, ravens are highly intelligent.
Does have an elegant look to it.
Reminds me of some of the rabbits I had.
At points, it's like waddling alongside you guys, but other points, it's just like bouncing up and down.
Oh. Hop,
It's
hop, hop,
very,
hop.
I think it's very adorable.
Someone who doesn't trust this thing is Brimstone.
No, Keta, I don't think we can keep it.
Goddamn right we won't.
Gives a little bit of a pout.
What's your name?
Keta.
Okay, where did you hear
Keta.
that?
Because she asked it what its name was, or if it had one. I'm sure it probably could put things together. I don't know how these birds work.
They're smart enough to do it.
Very
This is
smart.
Lee. And that's Morgan.
Lee.
Tail.
On.
Here.
Elsie.
Avente.
Avente.
And Brimstone.
Just keeps hopping.
Good.
Looks at you and just keeps hopping.
Good.
Or follow
Right.
along with the bird.
I think it's more a
The
case of
perception
we
check
and the
at this
bird are going the same path.
There's not really a whole lot of other paths to go on here.
Natural 20! I'm just very happy Keta does something, at least in the green.
13.
7.
Now Brimstone's paying more attention because he doesn't like the fact that thing just showed up.
This is interesting. My dice has landed on an exact point.
Nice.
What?
Because it bounced up and landed in the gap between two of my other dice in my actual laptop and perfectly rested itself there sitting on a point.
Nice.
I'll re-roll that. Is the only one to notice this.
Oh, wow.
To base how the party reacts. You're like walking along, conversing with your little raven friend. Stands your speech. Sometimes it doesn't.
Named him Charles.
And you hear just in the back of, like above you somewhere, just very gentle flapping. eye when you look up at one point. There's this guy. Oddly
There's-
colored birds.
She's gonna. Charles, are those your friends? And she's gonna point up to the sky.
Oh, yes. And, see?
16.
Right. You suddenly feel the back of your neck and everything goes black.
And now everyone duck.
Brimstone's near the back of the party. No one saw that happen.
Yeah.
He's still walking.
Oh, I can't see?
Oh, you are unconscious, but everyone
Oh,
else still
okay.
sees you still walking.
Alright, so let me change Keta's
Okay,
reaction.
gotcha.
Guys, I think we should probably press against the wall or something.
Didn't see anything happen.
Yeah, I'm at the I'm at
no,
the back
she's
of the
talking
party.
more about the fact that there's birds
Okay.
above them.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
There's birds up above, and I really don't. I don't know what they're gonna do.
What's Dravench's AC?
16.
Same thing happens to Dravenche.
At this point, Keta has pressed herself against the wall.
Are
Bella's
you?
not sure what she's freaking out about, but she'll stand near the wall as well. So,
I think
What's
she's
gotten
just
into you
afraid
today?
of getting bird droppings on her.
Ever fun.
Well, no, it's not fun.
Felzy, what's your AC?
16.
Never mind, it hits. Everything suddenly goes black.
Imagine Keta starts realizing that something's up,
Yeah,
somewhat close to her, in the talking and everything.
well, I feel like the thing is, Brimstone would probably have reacted to that whole thing.
Didn't have a chance.
No, to what Morrigan was saying about Keta
Okay.
is what I'm saying. But no.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. about what was said, not that. Brimstone is gone. I've accepted that.
Basically, as it's going up the marching order, behind in the marching order, just suddenly are not talking anymore.
What's Fauzi doing now? If she was standing next to the wall,
You're still just walking.
So she got off the wall and walked past Keto, who's freaking out
like-
now?
Nothing of your pace has changed. You're unconscious, but nothing of your body's pace has changed.
So she would probably still be standing at the wall then.
If for now.
But if Kita's pressing up against the wall, wouldn't the rest of us walk past her?
Yes, actually. Yeah, you see the
Yeah.
rest of your party just seemingly
Well, yeah, that.
not give a care and just walk past.
Well, I
It's
think
all
the
up
question
against
was
the wall
Failsy.
with her.
Yeah. I guess the question was Failsy pressed against the wall when she got hit, or did you not have the time to do that?
Well, she stopped near Keto to figure out what Keto's deal was, and then she
Okay.
blacked out. And I don't know if she's just gone, don't care, and just walked off, or
Or
That's-
she's just
standing
not-
there
That would
looking
have
blankly.
basically been what happened. Is you're just sort of walking.
Oh, okay.
Who's
Gotcha.
up against the wall with Keta?
Lee and Morgan. I mean, Morgan hasn't been hit yet.
And Morrigan would have been going to stand near Keta like, girl, what are you doing?
I think something's wrong. Are you wrong?
Yeah, it seems so.
Going, what's your AC?
Let me scroll up on my sheet. It is 15.
All right. Everything goes black.
At
Just for
this
some
point,
reason, Morrigan agrees that, yeah, something's probably wrong, and she just continues following your party.
does Kenta see something like swoop down? I imagine they were close enough so Keta's actually looking at Morrigan if something happened to her.
You're not seeing anything happen to Morrigan. It's just like she just sort of gives you a bit of a blank look and just turns to rejoin the party as everyone else is still just walking.
I'm scared.
It is a bit weird.
I like his proper posh accent. Now that he can actually talk.
And Keta, what's your AC?
14.
Yeah, hers is the lowest because she was.
Everything
No,
goes black.
I was gonna. Oh, fuck, if she had the chance to actually do something, she was gonna fucking. The chance to do cutting words, but I don't think it would help.
You can't really do it if you can't see the attack coming.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty much as you're blacking out, you just see the little bird, which you've dubbed Charles, just point at Lee, then point forward and just go, "Keep walking."
Oh, fuck!
All right.
Stone didn't trust the bird.
Like everyone but Andy to mute themselves.
Oh, no!
Okay. Where's my mute button? There it is.
I don't like this.
All right then.
Okay. Okay.
Well, let's get this off first. Keta. When your vision clears, you find yourself standing in a strange, gnarled forest. Just been in. Not like any forest you've known before. There are ancient, their bark scarred with time, littered with small, pale lights. And there's a bit of a strange calm to the air.
Okay. Is gonna go towards the sound of the snoring, I guess?
It's like rasping, strained breaths.
So, yeah, shall I go towards the person who sounds like they're struggling to breathe in case she can help?
Continue forward, trying to move towards the sound of the... I'm going to turn down the music a little bit.
Okay.
It's moving towards the sound. And make me a perception check to see how well you can find it.
Alright, give me 1 second to scroll up.
You're able to track it down fairly easily. It's almost echoing through the forest, but as it echoes, seems to come from all around you at once. You can hear where it's coming from most loudest, and you move towards that. Break out of these ancient trees into a small clearing. You see a cave, which this rasping breath seems to echo from. Cade's mouth, you see oddly infectious-looking crystals growing. They shine a strange rainbow, almost amorphous hue on water. Strange sort of chromatic shimmer.
Get out her guitar and kind of make her way forward. Calling out, hello?
How far do you move forward?
She'll move to the mouth of the cave.
move to the mouth of the cave, and if you wanted to even put thought to try to press into the cave, you'd feel that there's some sort of strange film over its surface. But
Just gonna try to push through.
make a strength check.
This weak child.
Unfortunately, you don't have advantage. Try as you might, you cannot even begin to push through this strange film. And as you look around, you start to see why. Or some sort of physical object. Push through it, you see these sparks of arcane energy from these crystals around the mouth of the cave as they create a barrier that prevents you from entering, whatever is in this cave from leaving. Slowly, you start to hear scraping.
Should create a light.
You do, you create a light
Kind of
of the cave.
give her a better look of like what's scraping and start to pull at one of the crystals, like one of the smaller ones.
Pull at one and immediately take 10.
It's a little bit of like a loud shriek as she pulls back her hand.
Don't. And as that sound draws your eyes back to the cave mouth and the light shines inside, form within the cave, the almost humanoid, if not for the hundreds of iron javelins driven through it.
Who are you?
Who are you? Be struggling to draw the breath to respond.
My name is Keta. I think I'm supposed to help, but I don't know how.
Response. Creature seems to be still for now.
Does it like are its eyes still flickering, sort of thing, or is it like just
You
completely
can't
not?
see its eyes. Its eyes are hidden from your view. What you see, and the only reason why you can somewhat make out its form, a leg, though it's garroted at many points. It almost looks like whatever has happened to this creature, it's been driven into the stone it's pressed against by these hundreds of iron spikes. Leg, and it appears to be almost a furred hoof. You see an arm that has skin like bark. If you'd like to, you could try to make either a nature or religion check with advantage.
She'll go religion.
Yeah, because you would have heard about these creatures, or at least things like them.
16.
Thing in your mind that screams dryad. At the same time, you know Fae, of course, are poison to them. And the fact that this thing is still alive with hundreds of iron spikes driven through it, it must be a very powerful entity.
just gonna kind of kneel at the mouth of the cave and entity. You're a very powerful fae for even hanging on this long, it seems.
Yes.
How can I help?
Find my grove.
Your grove.
The, the kingdom. Sums.
Nikki. Find the grove, find the key.
For the sake of this, I'll clarify what was said because I know my microphone's messing up. Kingdom of Blossoms.
Kingdom of Blossoms.
That name would immediately ring a bell in your mind. The Kingdom of Blossoms is the kingdom of the Fae that directly borders Graynum.
I know the Kingdom of the Blossoms.
Hear another response.
Please.
At least not for a while.
She's kind of sitting there trying to figure out how to help in any way possible, trying to use her cantrips to try to break through the thing, at least a bit from a distance.
Doesn't seem to be any amount of damage you can deal to this, and anytime you try to deal damage to it, it almost seems like the magic is reflected back at you.
Just to cry a bit.
After-
She feels helpless.
After 30 minutes, an hour, it's hard to judge here. Time seems to feel strange here. Here, its breath fill its lungs again. All of that time to take a single breath for this being. Light. Rainum's chalice.
Find Graham's chalice. Check on that. Lovely
Yes, with
DM.
advantage.
I'd imagine.
You would have heard of this. Many of the gods have divine relics that seem to hold aspects of their power are lost. But you've heard of Graynum's chalice. It's because it's one of the relics that the church your mother is part of. Item that they have been searching for so long because it's an item said to hold Graynum's ability to bestow life upon a creature. Said to drink the water that flows from Graynum's chalice, it can revive even
Want me to find the chalice to help you?
long time before you get an answer. Find it. Me. So you what? It's now done.
Miss. I'll find the chalice and I'll help you.
And that's where your vision goes black again. Armored, you can unmute yourself. Your eyes open. You're a place like you've ever seen before. There's light all around you. Hundreds of thousands of different colors. Even the ground beneath your feet, you can't truly see it. It's almost as if you're walking in thin air surrounded by stained glass. And as you realize that, you almost have to clutch your head with a feeling of near madness that overtakes you. She needs you to make a wisdom saving throw. You're able to push it back. This strange action tries to enter your mind, but you push it back.
Not today.
Almost as you do, the scene around you seems to calm and still. Rotating and changing orbs of color and these panes of force that resemble stained glass. They don't dissipate, but they stop moving.
Where am I? What is this? It... And like this shouldn't... It shouldn't be.
No. They shouldn't.
Who said
Voice
that?
from... It's like each word comes from a different place around your body. The first word comes from behind you, you turn around quickly, but even before you fully turn your head, the next word is from right in your ear. That is in front of you, and it's maddening.
What? Where are you?
We were nowhere. All known. Each word you're hearing from a different place in this strange cacophony of color.
I'll
Shouldn't be here. What's he doing here? Why is he here? Just hearing all of these different voices around you.
I'll give you a compliment. I know a lot of dancers who would really like to be in a place as colorful as this.
Tries to compliment us. What's it mean? What is it saying? Why are we here? Why is it here? Why is he here?
Why are you all talking?
Talking? There's only one of us. Who's he talking about? Who is he?
What are you?
What are we? Who am I? Who am I? You see all of the colors around you suddenly shrink and coalesce. And they all fly from around you into a single point. It walks a feminine form made of stained glass.
Oh,
It slowly tilts its head. I don't recall inviting anyone.
I don't recall getting an invitation, yet I'm here. You... You have a wonderful look, but who are you?
Who am I indeed? I don't know. I haven't known for a long time. Those bastards did that.
Sorry, could you repeat that last bit?
Who am I? I don't know. Long time. Not since those bastards did that.
Okay, that last bit was why I wanted repeated. But
Sure.
Bastards?
Yes. My brothers, my sisters.
They
Thought me
did something
useless.
to you?
My power for their own gain. Did terrible things. Maybe they were in the right. Maybe I was in the wrong. Hard to remember when you're so twisted. And as it says that, its head like shatters and reforms.
Who's to say that you're twisted?
Just sort of stares into nothingness for a while, considering what you just said. Who is to say? Me, I suppose. Say I'm twisted. And it just looks at its hand. Not anymore.
sorry, could you repeat that last bit?
I said it looks at its hand and it just sort of, while flexing its finger, says, I don't even have a body anymore.
But you have a form that a performer would love to have. You don't always have to look on a negative side.
Maybe. You're a curious one. What's your name?
Well, there's lots of things to know. My name is Stravinche. May I ask of yours?
My name is Magisteria.
Immediate eyes wide open.
Oh, I don't remember who gave me the name. I don't remember a trifle much these years.
Magisteria. What
Yes.
an interesting name.
Oh, I've heard. By a few. Thousands calling to it, yet I don't know why. Really hard to hear what they say, though.
Ah. Sometimes it makes you wonder how well known we truly are.
I suppose. Maybe I was renowned at once. All I remember is my brothers and sisters tearing me apart. Probably had their reasons.
Mm. To tear one's own sibling apart, that I would not see any reason as to do that.
Hard to say. I don't remember. The memories might be here somewhere.
but I haven't been able to find them.
What
Elsewhere is a
is
strange
here?
place.
You talked over what I just said. That would have answered that question.
Oh, my apologies.
This being said, elsewhere is a strange place.
Elsewhere.
Either an Arcana or History check to know what that term means.
It's the same, so 9.
Not a very difficult check, to be honest. You learned about this when you were under the tutelage of your instructor. He had to explain to you how to bend the force of elsewhere to form magic. Of magical effect. Elsewhere is where magic comes from. It's almost like a aired over top the material realm that is just pure energy. And it's what magic and any sort of arcane ability draws upon to take form.
Hmm. Where in elsewhere?
Yes. I believe. Couldn't be anywhere else if we're not elsewhere.
Well, could be somewhere.
No. Or somewhere would be a lot more interesting. It's rather dull here. Nothing really comes to play.
Well. Hmm.
Question: does Da Vinci have his items on him?
Thing on you.
Sorry, you cut it. I didn't hear the first part of that.
Oh, you don't have anything on you. You have like your clothes and what you would consider your basic equipment, like your swords and stuff. But you don't have any of your other materials on you.
Well. Where in elsewhere?
You're not really here. Think you're here, but you're not here.
So if I try a trick, a spell, would it do
Say
anything?
what will happen.
Want to try to cast a spell?
Da Vinci is going to just look off in a random direction. And suddenly forces of wind blast past him.
Alright then. Can you try to use a cantrip that just is supposed to create a gust of wind off your feet as a tornado forms in front of you? Noticing that this being that calls itself Magisterio waves a hand and it dissipates.
Very good trick.
It's one of a few I know.
It's impressive.
And you just felt like lightning go through your body when you did that as well. You've never so directly commanded the force of magic before.
Why are you here, by the way?
I don't know. I was I was exploring a mountain and then there was something knocked me out, something, don't know what happened.
Thing you don't know. Why would you not know? What's going on?
And as it starts to question itself like that, surrounded by those lights again as it just shatters. You just hear that same sort of cacophony of voices as it's just talking to itself.
Well, there's many reasons why one might not know. If you say that I am not here but I'm just dreaming, maybe something put the dream upon me. How would I
Dude,
know
what
if
would
I'm
make him
really
dream?
asleep?
You shouldn't be able to put him to sleep. What's going on?
How does one know when they are truly asleep?
Who's to say? We sleep? It would be interesting if we slept. What would we dream? And we dream?
And as you start hearing it make that conversation with itself as it's talking about, can it dream? What would it see? World starts to go dark around you again.
What would you see? That is a good question.
And everything goes black. You want to finish these up tonight, by the way? Because we still have 3 more people.
Well, we should be able to.
So, Danny, it's your turn then.
Oh, okay.
In order I took the cards. Onagun, when you come to, you open your eyes, and you're standing on a cobblestone street in the middle of a gray city. There's no sound around you. The abandoned. So, you do see people. Just don't make sound as they move.
I've seen
Well-
a lot of weird shit, but this takes the cake.
By all accounts, they should. It's... As you move forward, it's bustling. There are many people on the street caring about their normal daily business. But their faces are just expressionless. They almost all look like they have the same face, no matter the shape of their... They're all making this same neutral, uncaring expression. They seemingly just go about daily tasks.
This is a level of weird I'm not ready for.
And you actually start to feel something strange. You're not sure what it is, but prying at the edges of your mind. You don't have to make a saving throw yet, but you feel like there's something trying to affect your mind.
I really don't like this place.
Make a perception check, but you have advantage on this because it's basically the only sound in the area you're going to hear.
Okay. That's a 20.
Soft 20, not nat 20.
Yeah.
One's cat's really happy.
I'm sorry, Zeta's in heat.
Fine. just hear softly in the distance, just, "Food for sale! Apples for sale! Come get your apples!"
Well, there's something. She'll go toward the voice.
It's a young female voice. And as you're moving forward, it's been really hard to find it. You're walking forward in a almost pure gray landscape. And you just see a little golden light ahead of you. You hear the voice coming from it.
She'll continue to follow.
At this point, you're actually in a market, like a little market square. People going about their daily business, but just off to the side, there's a young girl. Makeshift stall, hawking oranges, stuff of that nature. Just looking fruit, but she looks proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant little bucktooth smile on her face. Golden hair draping behind her. Fruit for sale?
I'm guessing that was addressed directly at me.
Oh, you're still a little whiles away. You do actually notice that when the people happen to light she's making, their expressions lift a little bit. Corners of their mouths turn up in just a slight smile.
Seems like an embodiment of sunshine, almost. And she'll continue walking forward.
She keeps hawking her wares before she notices you. She just gives you a big smile. Just, "Miss? Really pretty."
Thank you.
Would you like to buy an apple?
Sure, how much are they?
They're 1 copper piece.
Alright then. And if she's able to, Morrigan will give this girl, apparition, whatever she may be, a copper piece.
You have your gold. You do have like your gold purse on you. That's what you would think of as part of your standard gear is your gold purse.
Okay, so yeah, she'll give the girl...
She probably don't even have... Yeah, it's a little girl.
Okay, yeah, she'll give the girl a copper.
She takes it and she smells happily and she hands you an apple, and it's a real apple. It's got like those little black blight spots, but and it's a really nice red apple. It's really juxtaposed because all the other fruit except for what this girl is selling is gray. Just this apple is red.
Well, thank you, little one. Could you tell me where exactly I am?
Oh, where you are? I guess that would be the name of the city. Really tell me much about the city.
You to make an insight check.
Insight?
double
double
soft
soft 20.
You're looking at this girl. This little girl can't be older than 7 at most. Ung.
I'm sorry, what?
This little girl, she can't be older than 7.
Okay.
She definitely appears to be human.
Okay.
Huh.
Because I'm gonna make an intelligence check to see if this tiny child knows the name of the city.
Okay.
Stop dropping my dice off my board. Ooh, she rolled pretty good.
This is the city of Valehaven? I mean, it's called?
Valehaven. Alright.
I'd like you can make a history check on that.
Alright. That's an 8.
Your travels, you've probably heard the name Valehaven. You know it's somewhere in the province of Greater Granum. Or actually, it would be in the province of Lesser Granum because it's kind of towards the outer kingdom is. You don't really know anything about it though. You've just seen it in passing and been told that travelers don't usually go there. Very like reclusive city.
I seem to be in a place I never thought I'd be then.
You never think you'd be here. I mean, I guess the people are a little sad, but that's not a reason not to come here.
I've just... My life's just been weird is all it is.
Guess that's fair. Lives are pretty weird. I don't know. Mom talks about that sometimes, but I don't really understand. Thank you for buying an apple.
And thank you for selling such lovely ones.
And she just smiles at you. Just a little toothy grin.
Aww. Morgan will smile back at her and I guess just continue.
Actually, I'd like you to make a perception check again.
Oh, okay. Perception. 15.
Actually, start to hear a bit of a commotion further down the market.
Just going to walk towards that.
Yeah. Oh, it's also as you hear it, you see the girl just sort of, and like duck underneath her counter. You get close, you start just to hear, in a very aggressive tone, just, "Where is she?" Just several, like, very monotone voices, just, "No, sir." Ugh.
A chill just goes down Morgan's spine hearing that.
The Lord said I have to find her. I know better not find her first, that pansy try to be nice. Try to get close enough to see who it is saying this.
Yeah, though before I do that, question. Can Morgan still feel the connection to Moonlit Aria?
Oddly enough, it's on your side.
Okay.
Don't feel like the presence because it usually only comes when you draw upon it or when you're particularly upset, which in of itself makes you a bit unnerved why it's not reacting right now. But you do have it on your person.
Okay. But yeah, she is going to try to see who it is speaking.
You get closer, and the person you see You see him most because he shoves one of these people into this crowd, and that basically like makes a path over for you to see him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this massive, biggish looking man in full plate armor. His face visor currently up. It clearly looks like it's been broken too many times to ever be fully healed. Brand on his face over one of his eyes. Oddly enough, this man still has color about him. Just very subdued browns and reds. Aside from the silver gray of his armor.
Okay.
And when he snorts, it almost sounds like a between a pig and a bear snorting. Can't believe this. Words can't do their job because they're still fucking... He just continues, like, basically going down the line and questioning people about the whereabouts of a golden-haired girl. You can tell, without even making an insight, that his intention of finding her is not a kind one.
Oh no.
You do, Morgan.
She's gonna try to distract him.
You do to try to distract him.
Sir! I think I saw the child you're looking for.
It's like almost a snarl, as you just see his lips curl into a twisted smile.
And
it
she's
just sends chills down your spine.
Yeah. She's just going to point in the completely opposite direction the girl was, and she's be like, I saw her running that way.
Looks around, he's gonna insight you. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Okay. 17.
Let me roll. Hope if I rolled on the table. Hope if I rolled on the table. Stay on the table. Do a bit of a glance. I knew the little bitch would try to get behind me. And turns and starts walking in that direction.
Alright. And she's just going to watch him walk away until he's out of sight.
Yeah. Easy to pick out in the crowd because he's one of the only things that has color. It's not too long before you lose him.
Right. As soon as she's sure that he's out of sight, she's going to go back to where the little girl was.
Don't see the golden light anymore.
And just thinking to herself, not saying it aloud at all, just thinking to herself, I hope she got away.
Good question. Did you keep the apple or did you set it down when you heard the commotion?
She had sat it down.
Oh. Everything else on the table is still gray. Purple. Still that vibrant red color.
Well, she'll pick it back up and tuck it away in... as stereotypical as it sounds, she'll tuck it away in her shirt.
As you do so, sensation, like you pick it up, and there's this strange sensation. You feel yourself smile. As you tuck it away, everything starts to go dark around you.
Okay.
Leslie, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Unmuted.
Leslie, when your eyes open, it almost feels for a second like they don't, because it's still darkness around you. There's a weight across your body. And it takes a second before you realize you're submerged in water. Dark, pitch black water.
Fuzzy sort of looks around in a bit of shock and horror and starts trying to swim up, whichever way up might be.
You don't even really know which way up is. You have as bubbles as your breath starts to escape your lungs. And you swim that way, and you swim that way, and his breath is just leaving your lungs and leaving you. You never see light. It's just more and more dark water. The breath escapes your lungs. Choke in water. You don't start drowning. It's heavy, but it feels like breathing air.
Ugh. Can I talk underwater?
You can.
Or is it just bubbling?
It's weird. It's warbled voice.
Okay, when did I turn?
Make a perception check for me.
Yeah, side. Perception, where's my perception button?
Perception button. You almost swear you feel the water shift around you. Like something massive moved and the current hit you.
Okay, I'm alone.
Again, cut out a little bit.
Not alone. She sort of mutters to herself as she pulls as I pull my staff out to and point it in directions that I think the current's coming from.
Your staff out and you pointed, and you definitely feel the current after a second, but you feel the swishing of the water. And then you feel your staff tap something. Presses in slightly. It seems to still work, but it's lessened in these pitch black waters. At the end of your staff, you see it poking something pale. Bit of color, you don't know if it's simply lightly colored or if it's gray or if it's white. It's hard to say. Actually, like, clear your throat.
Yeah, that was me clearing my throat to while I was looking through my spells.
I didn't know if you're actually like having failsy clear throat, like a hello.
Yeah, that too.
As you do that, moves as there is a giant yellow orb in front of you now.
Oh, hello. What manner of beast are you?
it's not so much words, but you feel something push into your mind. Intentions behind words. Without a form. You get the sense of this isn't a beast, it's a being. It will not be accepted to be called a beast.
Being, then. What manner of being are you?
Almost feel it search your memories. There's a probing sensation as you see the entirety of your life flash before your eyes.
Wait, that's private.
You don't have much of a choice. Everything flashes. Including good parts. You're happy to relive some of them. Including bad parts. You're not so happy to relive that. This being just sort of... You now know it to be an eyelid. Its narrows current that is produced by it closing, pushing you back from it. You get a flash of something that caused you great terror. The Kraken, the Leviathan you saw previously. It doesn't imply that that's it. It says, my child.
I see. Fuzzy just sort of tries to see if she can see any other thing around the eye. Like, is there more than one, or is there just this one in this area? Or is it just too dark?
If you try to look around, this eye is literally your field of vision right now. Your body. You look to the side, and it's like 100 feet before you see the edge of the eye in one direction, and then you look the other side, and you can't even see it in the other. You can't even see the edge of it there. You have no concept of how impossibly massive this creature is.
Well, it must be massive to be progenitor of the Kraken, at least. Oh.
What was your initial concept of being so large I can't comprehend it? Really can't comprehend the size of how big this creature must be if this is its eye. Unless, of course, it's like a beholder and it's literally just a giant eyeball, but you're not really sure. To get a sense of it curious while you're here.
Oh, I like to roam unwelcome areas. You never know what you'll find out. She says, kind of lying.
You don't know why you're here. It's as much the truth as anything else. You can make a deception check, though.
She's very deceitful.
And yet you still feel like it knows exactly what you mean. The sense of it asking, you're lost. You don't know why you're here. And it's not a voice you're hearing, it's just the intention of its thoughts.
You might be right. But I do get to meet. I'm just going to say Mama Kraken. Why?
Getting my notes
What
out.
is? What? do? Questions to ask a big monster. What do you ask it?
Literally anything you're thinking about this thing, it knows.
Mhm.
If anything would come to Failsy's thoughts while trying to think of things,
She's kind of thinking, why do... the first question would be like, why are the Leviathans here? What do they want? What is their goal? And what do they want?
in turn, you almost hear in your brain, they're here because they were born here. Creature beyond this would be... Why else would a creature be in this realm? What do they do here? You get a very confusing response. It says they keep the water calm. They bring order. What this being...
What brings disorder? If they keep order.
Almost get a flash through your mind of wars of long past. Dark magic being used, wild magic being used. Things that would churn the oceans with boiling blood. Things that would raise entire mountains into the sky and bring them down upon their enemies. A war of a scale you have no concept of because you've never heard about people having this level of magic.
Fells is just going to sort of chalk that up to or the avatars going at it or something. Or just pass it off as that for the moment.
It's a strange feeling because it doesn't quite feel like that, but you don't know why. It feels old.
Mm.
You have no concept of how old. No frame of reference.
Yeah. Okay.
The sense that magic, restraint, telling you is what they must bring order to.
Fells is just sort of remembering how the Kraken kind of ate her magic.
Magic does draw from a very particular source. Some of it, at least.
Why does your kin attack mortals? The small folk on the ships.
Get the inkling of hunger. Hunger, a need, a necessity. They take no more than they need.
Would that be... Fells sort of thinks about Is that food and sustenance? Do they feed on magic? And attack
Really-
ships that have magic?
Getting a strange sense of it might be a bit of both. Obviously they need to eat physical matter. That makes sense, but you actually see people washing up on the shores. Just very tired. Maybe some of it's them only taking magic from the people they take.
She's sort of confused. It's like, do you need, like, do you need meat, or is it the steel of the sort of putting the magic part aside?
This joke
Or is that-
aside, they need a well-rounded diet. No. Strange. It doesn't quite though it can tell what you mean, it doesn't comprehend the exact behind your question. Knows you're asking, do you need to eat the ship itself or do you need to eat the people? Apply both. Like, they need to eat. It has to be multiple things.
I was just trying to do some rough calculations on how much a kraken might need to eat.
Aren't
In
very
a-
many reported attacks by the Kraken.
So how often?
Guys were probably the first one in months. And even then you saw... I mean, you don't know about Jonathan's side of the ship. Maybe that entire thing was lost and that was what they took, but... Elevy's side of the ship didn't incur that many losses. Like, all things considered. Ship itself, while very badly damaged, wasn't gone. It wasn't... And you don't know what happened to Jonathan's ship.
Yeah, Felsy's very curious. Does it know? Like, does it keep in contact with its kin?
Implies that it does, but it doesn't answer your question. It doesn't tell you what's happened. It does imply that it knows what happened.
Oh, now you're just being a tease.
The eye narrows again. And you're pushed like 20 feet away from it.
Well, you seem pretty cordial. Don't suppose there's any chance for working out a deal?
There's an immediate sense of denial. And a want for you to be gone.
Huh? Why is that?
Doesn't want you here.
I don't know how I got here.
And it will help you leave. As you feel the water underneath you start to rush up.
Oh boy.
And suddenly your feet are on a surface. Stops just short of colliding into you and potentially utterly crushing you. You
So
can't
Fels
even,
is still underwater?
but you're standing on something.
Ah.
It still seems to be made of that same pale gray color flesh. There's something sitting next to you on the whatever this is.
Fel's gonna bend down and take a look at it. Maybe try and pick it up if she can.
It's a necklace with a small charm on it.
What's this? Sort of examining it in the darkness.
You get the sense that it just says a guide. And then commands for you to be gone. Almost in that same moment, your vision starts to go completely black again as this eye closes and you feel the surface leave from underneath you.
All right. Well, at least it didn't eat me.
And that's the last thought you have before everything goes black. And Myth, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I need to mute this.
Yes. Okay.
Stone. When your eyes open, ringing in your ears, you could just feel thump of a heartbeat around you. Something that just feels wrong.
How's my
Currently,
brain?
oh, your brain?
No, my brain. Is it reacting at all?
Oh, your brand.
Yes.
Slightly, but no more than it does when it's just on your arm.
Okay.
Well, it's just that warm sensation because you yourself have infernal blood.
It's a situation normal on that end. Okay, understood.
You look around you and there's just gray mist around you. Look down and there's grass and dirt underfoot. You seem to be on some sort of path.
Alright. Gonna pull the pistol if I have it. I presume I do.
Because it's so... Even though you didn't have it when this adventure started, that's become so much your thing of just like, yes!
Yes.
That is something you'd consider to be part of your person, so...
Okay. Yeah. So
Then, it actually has a really nice holster. Also, it has that scope you've been thinking about. You don't know how that happened.
fuck.
Brimstone thinks he really wants that on his pistol, so when it's just your mind representing your body... Look around. There's just not a whole lot to go off of because you have about 5 feet of visibility. Fog is that thick.
I suppose I'll follow the path, but listening, waiting for something to pop out.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. It's an 8.
It's really hard to hear anything over the ringing in your ears and that heartbeat you constantly hear. And obviously it's hard to see anything. Occasionally though, in the fog, you do just hear the like the rattle of bones. Don't seem to be getting closer to you.
Are they Is it one specific direction, or is it kind of just scattered?
It's the moan you hear from like 20 feet off to your right. The clattering of bones is like somewhere behind you. Shuffling not too far off the path. Eventually you actually see the source of it if you keep walking forward.
Mm-hmm.
Remembered hand slowly dragging itself along the path you're going.
Dismembered hands?
Just a single one.
Oh, a single hand. Okay, gotcha.
For the sake of it. It's more like that as you continue along the path. More distant sounds of easily identified to be undead. But eventually, step forward, and as you move your head forward, the fog. There's a weird tingle on your body. Then something really strange. The first time since you got it, the brand is cold.
What was that you cut out? I assume the brand is gone?
Gone. Like I said, for the first time since you got it, the brand is cold.
Oh, cold. Gotcha. Okay.
I've never felt it be cold. You look around, and you're in a graveyard.
What's the first? You don't look at one of these headstones. It's gonna be my mother's name.
You do.
Yeah. I know I shouldn't look, but I assume as he looks, that's what's there.
Oh, it's just some random human-sounding name, like Tommen. It's a random name. Tommen Castillo, born insert. It'd be born like year 940. Died year 987.
Not a name I recognize.
Really? Sounds too generic. Looks like a gravestone. And as you look around, there's just more gravestones, but not really anyone you recognize.
It ain't custom tailored to me. I don't think Dad has anything to do with this.
Especially since the brand doesn't burn right now, you get a weird sense of, yeah, there's nothing your dad has to do with this.
Mm.
Probably the first time since that happened that you feel a little bit at peace. He's not watching you right now.
Old man ain't watching. Most people don't put him at peace.
You hear the sound of a shovel breaking earth.
I'm gonna look in that direction.
See a person digging a hole in the ground.
What was that?
See a person, like, just digging a hole in the ground.
Hmm.
Seems to maybe be a gravekeeper of some sort. The way they're dressed is odd. They're just in head to toe almost what looks like some form of weird suit type camouflaged robe. It's like a very tattered black robe.
Mm-hmm. Gravekeeper needs something. Seems a bit too on the nose.
They haven't seemed to have noticed you.
As I'm looking around, I see nothing else besides more gravestones.
More gravestones. There's a lone tree in the distance, like on the edge of the graveyard. Gravekeeper's abode, like near that tree. You see the fence that's around the graveyard that seems to be having that strange gray mist push against it and be repelled. You can tell that's the line you step through to get in here.
So dead outside. Here ain't no fellow. Everyone here's dead. Looking at just the graves that are immediately around me, none of them seem to be like pushed up like they were unburied or something.
Oh, none of them seems to be unburied. Do you notice that there are a few that seem to have been freshly, like, repacked and have had flowers placed on them? There are a few that already have melted or still just ever so slightly burning candles as if some ritual had been performed. I don't necessarily know if Brimstone would recognize the ritual, but you can make a religion check to see.
Maybe.
Oh, not bad, actually. You don't know the exact stuff because you're not a particularly religious man. Like, it looks like some form of prayer was done here after the body had been buried. And what you saw outside, that might be a preventative measure against it becoming undead.
Consecration, maybe. Fuck, I don't know. Redemption right now. I don't know.
You gotta just mumble over there.
You've
Here,
been hearing
coming
me
from-
the whole time, haven't you?
Only once I realized you were standing there.
Fair enough.
Might as well come over. It's a weird thing to say, but make an insight check.
Oh boy. 15.
But actually, there's something that's strange about that voice. It doesn't sound real. There's something that is altering that voice. It is beckoning you to come over. Don't intend to bite, come on.
Okay. Brimstone will start making his way over.
You just see more rows of graves. The best way I can think to describe this is it's kind of like the scene from Nightmare Before Christmas where it's just like a literal hillside of graves. That's just how many there are. Or like imagine those like military cemeteries.
Oh, like Arlington where it's fucking massive.
It's just massive and it's almost terrifyingly organized. there's not a bit of wasted space. Because obviously there can't be wasted space with that many to bury.
Been tending graves a long time, haven't you?
Much of a choice. And these lands, if you don't bury them proper,
They just come
judge
back.
if they get back up.
This ain't the Kingfisher's Island.
Let's say it is.
What's up?
Let's say it is. It's about, that's at least, by boat from here. That's a fast boat as well.
Gundam. I ain't really here, am I?
Hard to say, you're looking a little pale. Think you're a ghost. You wouldn't have been able to step on these grounds if you were. Definitely something strange going on.
Sounds like some magic bullshit. It's climbing a mountain.
Ain't that the truth? Did you come here looking for something or not have a choice?
Climbing a mountain, and everything went black. And I woke up, I was in the fog. Managed to stumble my way here before something got me.
I mean, I suppose you could have died, but, like you did.
Pretty sure if I died, I wouldn't be here.
Why, you owe someone a deal? Which is the first time you've ever heard someone ask that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that.
Work power?
Father.
Ah. Must be a right bastard then.
You never found a place I can hide from them, though. Except here, apparently.
Nothing evil can be here. Spending too many years making sure that's true.
Yeah, that's what they say about churches, too. I've never shown up in one of them, but I still know he's watching.
Church is only as strong as the one who runs it. A lot of them lose faith faster than you'd like to think. I haven't lost faith, though.
I can tell.
What did he take from you?
First, my mother. Then the woman I loved.
Even did he offer you for... and this being, this person, where the brand is? What did he even offer you? That's a pact.
Second lease on life.
Doesn't sound like you've made much use of it, judging by the tone in your voice.
Never know when he's going to come back.
Pick something else. At least my phrasing there was probably confusing. He was basically, or it was basically saying, you never know when he's gonna come back. He was saying, and take something else. To like finish your statement.
Yeah. Don't think I can handle it again.
That's the bad thing about those types of powers. They take and they take and they revel in it until you break. Died. Or eat you.
I think he's having too much fun to do that.
You'll break eventually if you're not careful. A lot of people do. Of course, you could break that pact as well. Something in these lands that could let you break it.
I'd help if I knew what these lands were.
On the Coriel Isles. You get free of whatever you're doing, come pay a visit.
Somehow I got a feeling everybody else that I was with gonna get the exact same thing. Not to come here, but same kind of missive.
There's no rightly good reason to come here, unless you're, of course, trying to break a pact. Like a loved one. Might be one and the same for you.
Maybe.
Well, suppose I'll offer you a bit of advice. Steps towards you. And you realize this figure's face...
Is what?
Can't see this thing's face, even though it's wearing a hood that should expose it. No light penetrating underneath its hood. In this land, there's a dungeon constructed by being most fierce that is particularly hard to defeat. In fact, I don't believe any have that haven't just become its servants. But get to the end and there's a golden door. Say that's the gateway between life and death itself. You could stick one to your old man if you completely undo him being able to kill someone. You can beat the thing that's in that dungeon. I feel like you could beat your old man. Give it as a test. Or at least a little bit of advice from a... I guess you could call me a concerned party. I'm good.
It's a start.
It's more of an end, really. You don't want to start there.
I suppose. The knowledge is to start.
Yeah, there you go.
It's giving me a set to the end goal, I suppose.
Yep. Anyways, you get to this island. Tell them you want to speak to the Gravekeeper. Should be a church somewhere on the main city that you should be able to talk to. Over there, they help me with my work. They should be able to lead you in the right direction.
Keep that in mind.
Yep. Feeling a bit of a shift in the air. Leaving here soon. What's your name?
Adarax Calavius.
Long name. Extends a hand out to you. Take it.
Yeah.
Call me Judge. And everything goes black. Everyone can unmute themselves now. As it is now night when you all come to again. Standing in a open ceilinged room is who has Charles sitting on his shoulder, that big old white raven, furiously biting his nails.
You're alright.
Boss woke up!
I also wake someone draws a gun towards whoever's not a friend.
You don't see anyone around.
I thought it was a guy biting his nails.
Yeah. The Raven.
Ah,
He is biting his own nails. Someone else doesn't have his hand in biting his nails.
I thought I misheard half.
Oh, okay,
cut
I'm
out halfway
sorry.
through. I thought there was a guy and then sitting on his shoulder.
Okay, no, it's Lee.
Yeah. It's Lee.
Lee's just
Lee's
biting his
biting
nails.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the Raven. Oh,
Yeah,
the Raven was
no.
on his shoulder, and Lee was biting his. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Just
I
has
will
the raven
embrace
by
these
the
as
feet
coming
biting
down.
the raven's nails. Probably has done that at some point. The raven's talons look a little chipped.
Alright, I
And
promise.
Lee no longer has fingernails.
Think we're
Eventually
alright?
collapses to his knees.
To give a bit of perspective, all of those happen simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
How long were we out?
It's been 2 hours at least.
Hours.
It was left. It's Sky trying to judge the time. It's at least midnight by now. Guys have probably
Well,
been
just-
out for at least like to 12 hours. Judging by that.
It didn't feel like that long.
To all of you
Fine.
guys, that at most felt like 10 minutes.
Except for maybe Catcher
10,
the
30
Rats, they had to wait 2 hours.
Yeah, it felt a bit more. That feels a bit more accurate, though. Again, you don't really know how much time passed there because time felt weird there.
We have to find the grail. Oh no. Ah.
Okay. I'm guessing all of us saw something.
A dream.
Not all at once.
Yes, I imagine you all did see something.
Ah, God, who are you?
Fuzzy draws a gun.
you see stepping from a back room into this room, looking individual. Her skin is a sort of, well, it's sort of like coal gray color. Like lines running through her body with this vibrant, almost fin-like hair on her head. She's garbed by what appears to be almost robes with a floral pattern of aqua and blue. Seems to have a strange film on it. Almost more odd than any of that is when you look into her eyes, whites and pupils, because she almost looks like an elf. But instead, they're just brilliant blue orbs. See as this white raven flies from Lee's shoulder and back onto hers. It opens its eyes and has the same brilliant, glowing, light blue eyes.
I knew that bird was fucking magic.
Oh, indeed.
Oh, it's a familiar.
Knew it wasn't a normal raven.
This being raises a slow finger and points at you, fails. You've got your head on your shoulders, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes I
Then
think she's
put that in the
Can you hear me?
mugshot for you guys' references. Yes, can hear you now, Andy.
Sorry, the fucking thing popped out as I was about ready to say something.
Put a visual reference in the mugshots for you guys.
Oh, shit. Ready.
You brought us to dream, didn't you?
No, I didn't bring you to dream. Vision.
And she, from her sleeve, a deck of cards slides out.
Told a fate you might find yourselves in. Not guaranteed, but it's that you may find useful.
And the cards slide back into her sleeve.
You're going to kill us.
if she wanted to, she already would have.
It would have been fairly easy while you were all asleep.
Exactly.
But no,
They...
Yeah.
Give us... favor, fate, something? Not sure what I was supposed to take from mine.
it's hard to say what you take. I can tell you what cards you received.
Might give us some sort of clue.
Right.
Ma'am,
I'll actually
I do
show
have a
you guys
question.
pictures of these
Are
later,
you-
but
Are you the cause of the mechanical creatures?
Oh, that's something else on this island. Very troublesome, but ultimately pointless.
just sort of gazes up at the night sky.
Something from the stars. Not my business. Don't bother me, and I don't bother them.
Do you
Where
know?
are my manners? Elway.
My name's
What was that?
Ketha.
Calls herself Madame Elway.
Do you all care for some tea? Or coffee, perhaps? Some of you seem like coffee fellows.
I wouldn't say no.
That would be nice.
I also have
Maybe-
fruit juice.
I think I should have the fruit juice. I don't like. I don't think Brimstone would want me to have coffee.
No,
We
I
don't need her having coffee.
All right then. And she claps. And Keto, you actually see those colored birds fly down from the sky, and as they land on the ground, they shapeshift into worms. And they start scuttling into the back room to get stuff ready.
Kenta will look and hide behind whoever's next to her.
They turn into the humanoid forms, by the way. They look like elves, but with feathers instead of hair. Like they have a mane of feathers. They are completely nude. All of them are women, though, for the sake of reference.
Okay. And your other, can the raven do that?
Oh, this is my familiar. And I suppose I could make him do that, but I didn't want him to. He's much more used to me like this. And she gives him a little scritch and he just goes, "Gross!" Smiles. Which, by the way, the best way to describe the form those elven people took is they almost kind of look like very humanoid harpies. They still have, like, tufts of bird feathers on their chests. They still have almost wing-like arms and talons for hands, but the weird, grotesque forms of the harpies you fought before, and they're not quite elves. It's like a weird hybrid.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about, Madam Elway.
Perhaps, but, I think you all could use some rest after such a long walk. Play your cards now, or after you sleep?
I think I'd rather know now.
I have a feeling after I already know what the plan is.
It's more of a question of, do you guys want to actually know them now, or do you want to save that for next game?
Save that for next game, please. I need to go to bed.
That's why I was curious early if you guys wanted to push this so late.
Yeah, okay. Let's
Right,
hold
so
off on that then.
let's just wrap up then.
We're gonna learn anyway.
So these weird harpy elves bring out your drinks and start laying out proper bedrolls for you. Down bedrolls, which is a little bit suspect considering what they are, but they're very comfortable.
Just move mine directly next to Lee.
See them actually having to, like, make two bedrolls next to each other anyways, because they're not made for someone of Lee's size.
Oh, buddy.
They practically just, like, rip three bedrolls apart and then stitch them together around Lee. He's just having to stand still while it's happening. You all are able to bed down for the night. Leave if no one leave. It's fine. There's nothing else really to be done. But I'm just gonna see if anyone else wants to say anything before we head out.
No.
Does Failsy still have the pendant?
It's actually an important note. Anything you all acquired while in those visions, you still have them.
What does mine look like now that I can see?
I'll explain that next game.
Okay.
Just remind me to explain it.
Armor needs to go to bed. Go to fuck to bed.
Done. Or I'll explain it after game.
Okay.
Hey. That something was motor gun and failure.
Maybe you got hints to where things were.
Chill. I don't have anything.
Tuesday game should be a thing next week.
There's a game on Saturday on Ori's channel, whatever it is this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, at this point, if the Tuesday game isn't a thing next week, I'm going to try starting up something new. I have a plan. Too many games, but I'm going to keep doing it. Have to.
And then I don't know about if Forest is going to be this Saturday or not. It all depends on if everybody for that's available.
Yeah.
And then should, plans keep working out as good as they have been for all this, then next Thursday, same time, same day, same channel, we will come back to here and find out what the fuck just happened to us!
Felzy dreamt of being a fish.
I mean, that's
Sounds
one way
like
to
a fish.
summarize it.
Da Vinci Meta God.
I feel like mine was the least jarring. Just, huh. Cool.
Well, yours
I feel like-
wasn't. Yeah.
I feel like Brimstone would have actually fist bumped Death just as they leave. It's like, right, you have a good day now.
No.
And fist bump Death. You didn't even handshake with Death.
No, I did.
Says that's Death.
Okay.
No, fair enough. Yeah, that's
Judgment.
Judge. I think Death would be Executioner.
I'm just assuming Grim Reaper
All right, guys.
was the
We'll
motif.
talk about it more later.
Alright, but yeah, that should be everything in it, so we're just all gonna say goodbye and we'll see y'all next week.
What?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.